Chapter 121. After Elder Wei died, they were destined to die. Since the strongest among them had been killed, the rest of them could only wait for death. Inspector Ge, in particular, was also pierced by the spear and died instantly. The violent power made their hearts tremble. If they knew that this was not Yi Tianyun's full strength, what would they think? We will not tell anyone. When Inspector Fong and the rest saw Yi Tianyun's demonic gaze, their hearts trembled. It was not easy for them to climb to this position. They did not expect to die here. How could they accept this? What's the point of saying this now? Don't waste my time. The next moment, Yi Tianyun completely ignored their pleas for mercy. He turned into a red light and rushed over, scaring them so much that they turned around and ran outside. At this time, Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand, and a terrifying suction force swept out. Like a tornado, it sucked them over and stuck them on his palm. The absorbing star's great skill activated and extracted the spiritual energy in their bodies crazily, turning it into a lot of experience points. Previously, he had wanted to suck Elder Wei dry, but in the end, he chose to kill him in one move. It was to be safe. While he was absorbing, he could not attack. So, if he was attacked later, it would not be a good thing. Therefore, after killing Elder Wei, he wanted to properly absorb the experience and ruthlessly suck them dry. This process did not take long. In just a short while, they were completely sucked dry. There was not a bit of spiritual energy left in them. In total, he gained more than 700,000 experience points. On average, the two of them were worth more than 300,000 experience points. This was more experience points than killing them. This had always been the case. If he could suck them dry and then kill them, the experience points he would gain would be more. Qing Xian Mansion will not let you off, the two of them shouted weakly. They knew that they could not escape death. In the end, this was the only thing they could say. I've said it before. Even if Qing Xian Mansion doesn't come looking for trouble with me, I will go looking for trouble with Qing Xian Mansion. Yi Tianyun snorted coldly. Then he swung his gun at them twice and activated his lucky halo. He didn't dare to keep it on for too long. This was definitely a life-threatening existence. Ding successfully killed Patrol Inspector Fong, gained 160. 000 EXP, 3600 Crazy Point, gained Martial Art Transforming Heaven Palm, Netherworld Step. Ding successfully killed Inspector Zhang, gained 160. 000 EXP, 3600 Crazy Point, gained Martial Art Transforming Heaven Palm, Netherworld Step, gained Ancient Heavenly Spear, Falling Cloud Boots. They had all repeatedly dropped martial arts, which meant that he already had 3 copies of the Heaven Transformation Palm. However, the more the better, so he didn't care. These were all Earth-level martial arts. If they were sold, they could fetch a good price. There would definitely be as many as there were. However, even with 10x luck, some of the items did not drop. This was just to increase the drop rate, and it wasn't a guaranteed drop. However, being able to obtain a martial art was already very good. Tianyun, did you break through to Spirit Core Realm? Sure, Shuiyun and the others were still shocked. Elder Wei was killed by Yi Tianyun without any difficulty. It really made them dumbfounded. Before, he was still in core condensation, but in a blink of an eye, he reached Spirit Core Realm. How did he cultivate? They always wanted to ask, but they didn't dare to. Yi Tianyun's cultivation was much stronger than them, so they didn't dare to ask. As for Sure Shuiyun, as long as Yi Tianyun was fine, she would only be happy. No, I haven't broken through to Spirit Core Realm yet, Yi Tianyun said with a smile. What? Their expressions froze again. He hadn't even broken through to the Spirit Core stage, but he could already kill Elder Wei. What would happen if he broke through to the Spirit Core stage? What will happen if he breaks through to Spirit Core Realm? Great Elder and the others looked at each other and saw the horror in each other's eyes. They thought that Sure Shuiyun was the fastest to break through to Spirit Core Realm, but now Yi Tianyun is the fastest, and he hasn't broken through to Spirit Core Realm, but he can still kill a Spirit Core Realm expert. This is the most shocking thing. But now it's even more troublesome. After Qing Xian Mansion learns about this, they will definitely attack. After killing Elder Wei, they suddenly felt relieved. Finally, this matter is over. But in fact, this is just the beginning. They killed 3 patrol envoys and an elder of Qing Xian Mansion. Qing Xian Mansion will definitely not let them go. If they don't destroy Jade Palace, they won't be able to calm their anger. What followed was naturally a deep sense of worry. For the time being, they can't send any information to the other side, but soon they notice the problem. The people they sent haven't come back for so long, so there must be something wrong. This time they are silent. Yi Tianyun is very strong, but the power of Qing Xian Mansion is not so easy to deal with. Elder Wei is just one of the Spirit Core Realm experts. There are more powerful ones. He can kill a 2nd-level Spirit Core Realm expert, but what about 5th or 6th level? Or even 7th or 8th level? There will always be a limit. It's impossible to fight a cultivator with higher cultivation. Qing Xian Mansion, for me, it's not difficult to destroy them, Yi Tianyun said solemnly. If someone else heard this, they would think that they are overestimating themselves. In the face of such a big Qing Xian Mansion, how can one person deal with it? But thinking that he can deal with the 3 major forces before, as long as he has enough time, destroying Qing Xian Mansion is not a problem. But do you have that much time now? We all believe that you can do it, but now you have time. The elder's attitude towards Yi Tianyun has changed completely. They all believe that he can do it. As long as he has enough time, everything will be different. There is something that I wanted to tell you, but I didn't say it until now. Now I can tell you. Yi Tianyun squinted his eyes and said, "Come with me." They looked at each other, not knowing what Yi Tianyun wants to tell them. Shi Shiyun didn't ask anything. After she told Lu Minglian to go back, she followed Yi Tianyun. After they went out, they sat on the giant eagle and began to fly to heavens, immersing ancient ruins. It's not difficult to control, and the good things of Qing Xian Mansion belong to them. Is this the way to heavens, immersing ancient ruins? The elders immediately saw it. Yes, it's the way to heavens, immersing ancient ruins. Yi Tianyun said indifferently. This could it be? The elders looked at each other. They already have a guess in their mind. There is only one reason to go to heavens, immersing ancient ruins when it is closed. That is, Yi Tianyun can open it. Chapter 122. Riding on the giant eagle, they soon arrived at the heavens, immersing ancient ruins. Fortunately, the giant eagles don't recognize anyone as their master, so whoever controls them can control their flight. That's why they were able to get here so quickly. Here we are. After Yi Tianyun came down from the giant eagle, he walked to the front of the heavens, immersing ancient ruins, and waved his hand. The gate of the heavens, immersing ancient ruins, lit up and began to slowly open. This scene stunned all of them. Although they were prepared for it, they were still shocked when they saw Yi Tianyun can control this place. What are you waiting for? Come in. Yi Tianyun took the lead and walked through the barrier. Shi Shiyun smiled slightly and followed him, easily passed through the barrier and entered the heavens, immersing ancient ruins. The other 3 elders also walked in. They didn't have any difficulty entering the barrier. Even the giant eagle was able to come in without any obstacles. We really came in. After they came in, they saw this familiar scene. They haven't been here for many years. They came here when they were young, and now they have reached this age. They couldn't help but sigh. Tianyun, how did you do this? Shi Shiyun asked. It's very simple. When I was looking for martial arts in front of the trial stone tablet, I finally obtained the inheritance of the entire heavens, immersing ancient ruins. I am now the inheritor of this place. Everything here belongs to me, or is controlled by Elder Xian. Yi Tianyun waved his hand. Elder Xian appeared in front of them, looking at them with a smile. The sudden appearance of a person startled them. When they saw it clearly, they found that it's not a real person, but an illusion. Young master, you've brought people in. Welcome, Elder Xian said politely. They all nodded. It seems that this place is not simple. The pressure that Elder Xian gave them is very strong. There are no treasures in this heavens, immersing ancient ruins. As you saw before, everything has been looted. But as a place for cultivation and shelter, it is absolutely perfect. As long as we move all of our disciples here, it will be much safer than Jade Palace, and the cultivation environment here will be much better than Jade Palace. Yi Tianyun said with a smile. As long as we hide here, profound azure mansion will never know where we are, Tianyun said with a smile. But in this way, we will have to abandon Jade Palace. This is a difficult choice, but for now we can only compromise. Originally, Tianyun only wanted to tell Shuiyun about this, so he can only say it in advance. He intends to let all disciples come in. This place is not only safe, but also has more cultivation places, which will greatly improve cultivation speed. But they have to abandon Jade Palace, which is their foundation. But if they don't do this, they will perish. Tianyun didn't dare to say that he could destroy the profound azure mansion, as he didn't know how powerful the profound azure mansion was. Moreover, there were so many of them that he couldn't deal with them in a short time. Hiding inside was undoubtedly the best choice. They didn't think for long and immediately nodded. This is indeed a difficult choice, but we have no other choice. The elders smiled bitterly as they shook their heads. Weak forces like them were merely puppets. It was the same for the other three powers as well. They were nothing more than puppets of the Qing Xian mansion, and they wanted to make use of their strength to take over the area and gain control over it. The reason for this was very simple. It was for resources. If they compromise, the result is not good. In addition to becoming puppets, Jade Palace will be separated. It's impossible for them to let Jade Palace remain the same. They will definitely arrange a lot of people to enter Jade Palace. At that time, Jade Palace will no longer be Jade Palace, but a branch of Qing Xian Mansion. Compromising was just dragging out an ignoble existence. It was up to him which he would choose. If it was something like a subsidiary, they might be able to accept it if they didn't interfere with the management. Attaching to a big force would be of great help to them. But Qing Xian Mansion has completely infiltrated. At that time, all the female disciples will be forcibly combined with the disciples of Qing Xian Mansion. This is simply inhumane. But for Tianyun, just forcing Shuiyun to be the concubine of the mansion lord of Qing Xian Mansion is already intolerable. Whether it's surrender or resistance, Shuiyun will be captured as a concubine. This undoubtedly completely angered him. Don't worry about this. Trees die when moved, people live when moved. I remember that the old ancestor of Jade Palace also came from the outside. There's nothing he can't do. And the environment of heaven's immersing ancient ruins is better than Jade Palace. Choosing a good place is the right way. Shuiyun continued at this time. When our strength is improved, no one will dare to do this to us. Their foundation is too weak now. When their overall cultivation is improved, then this kind of thing will not happen. The other elders nodded. This is the only thing they can do now. The saying of survival of the fittest is reflected in them. If you are too weak, you will be devoured. If you don't want to be devoured, you can only become stronger. Then the best thing to do now is to summon all the disciples and prohibit everyone from going out. With the current situation of heaven's immersing ancient ruins, there is no problem to accommodate everyone. Shuiyun said. The elders nodded. They want to summon all the disciples as soon as possible. Otherwise, when Qing Xian Mansion reacted, it will be too late. Immediately, they began to prepare. At this time, Tianyun said to Shuiyun, "And I have to go out for a while." "Where?" Shuiyun was startled. At this time, Tianyun is still running around. It's dangerous outside. "I need to go out and practice. I can't break through if I stay here," Tianyun said with a dignified expression. The heavens immersing ancient ruins is a good place, but it's impossible for him to break through. Although he can use the absorbing star's great technique to cultivate here, but if he drains all the spiritual power here, it's very easy for the heavens immersing ancient ruins to collapse. Last time he absorbed a little bit of spiritual power, but it's already gone. His goal is not to level up 1 or 2, but to level up more than 5 or 6. Without reaching the 5th or 6th level of Spirit Core Realm, how can he fight the enemy? Heaven's immersing ancient ruins great formation is already broken. If he continues like this, it will definitely collapse. With his current level, he can't repair it at all. He needs at least a 5th grade Divine Rune Master to repair it. His current level is far from enough. He hasn't even used it much, let alone repair it. Shuiyun was silent for a while, and finally can only sigh. Tianyun. She just gently called out Tianyun's name, but but couldn't say anything else. "Aunt, don't worry. I will be back soon. You don't need to worry about my safety." At this time, Etienne took out the 100 transformation mask, put it on his face, and instantly changed his face. "Look, who can recognize me? This is really amazing. This treasure is so magical." After Shuiyun saw it, her beautiful eyes suddenly lit up. "She is worried about this." "Yes. Are you still worried that I will be recognized?" Etienne smiled lightly. Chapter 123. Now that Etienne has the 100 transformation mask, Shuiyun is relieved. She is not as worried as before, but she is very sorry that Etienne has been busy. After letting Shuiyun feel at ease, Etienne began to refine tools and pills like crazy. He refined all the materials he obtained before and obtained a large number of weapons and pills. But he didn't give them to Shuiyun. He sold them all. Supreme Spirit Tool, selling price 5,000 crazy point. Do you want to sell? Sell. Third level pill, selling price 3,000 crazy points. Sell. Sell. Best Spirit Tool. He sold all of them, not keeping a single one, just for the crazy points. Crazy point. I need a lot of crazy point. Etienne is going crazy. He wants to upgrade his Dragon God bloodline or crazy mode, but it requires too much crazy point. For this reason, he sold all the weapons and martial arts he obtained before in exchange for crazy point. After clearing all of them, he investigated the data. Player, Etienne level, 30, 10th level core condensation, EXP, 298728 crazy point prestige, 230 cultivation technique, Dark North divine art, Dragon God secret art, Shintian divine art ability, Absorbing stars great technique, Blood Fiend soaring heaven weapon, Frost Fist, Blood Fiend divine spear, Endless sword, Chaotic heaven sacred axe armor, divine armor, Shadow cloak, Chaotic heaven divine armor, Chaotic heaven battle boots divine ability, crazy mode, luck aura bloodline, Dragon God, bloodline decoration, Forging God hammer, power bracelet, power ring, power belt, Blood Fiend bracelet all items, 18 recovery pill, gift pack LV31, Life X1, bad luck divine pill, 5 times EXP card, blast divine pill treasure, purple fire divine furnace title, guardian flame, immortal fire. Looking at the amount of experience required, he shook his head and smiled bitterly. When he breaks through to spirit core realm, he will need more experience. Therefore, other than going to a more powerful place to kill demonic beasts and cultivate, there was no other way. There was one more thing, and that was equipment forging and alchemy. To be honest, he had always thought about this, but it was impossible. First of all, the materials were not endless. It would take a long time before a new batch of materials could be obtained. Moreover, the experience gained was not particularly great. Unless he had a huge pile of materials to refine, waiting for materials to be used to refine and upgrade his equipment wasn't worth it at all. The situation at the Qingxian mansion was already very urgent. How could he wait for the materials to be refined? Level up, Dragon God bloodline. Ding, successfully deducted 10,000 crazy points. Successfully upgraded Dragon God bloodline to level 3. The next grade, Dragon God bloodline, requires 500,000 crazy point. In an instant, he lost 100,000 crazy points. This was the price he got after selling 20 best grade spirit tools. In fact, he didn't have enough materials to make 20 best grade spirit tools. Only 200,000 crazy points left. I can't upgrade anything. Etienne shook his head, his eyes flashed. He already had a plan in his mind. It seems that I can only buy 10x EXP card as long as 500,000 crazy points. I can buy almost 4 of them. As long as I kill demonic beasts, then the level will definitely rise crazily. Immediately, he opened a merchant shop and selected 3 10x EXP card in a row, and then chose to buy it. Unexpectedly, when he clicked on it, a message popped up. Not enough crazy points to buy the third one. Please choose again. What? Etienne's eyes widened. 50,000 crazy points for a 10x EXP card. He had almost 200,000 crazy points, but he can't even buy 3? After he chose 2 again, he bought them, but he only had nearly 500,000 crazy points left. At this time, the price of 10x EXP card on the item column has been stacked to 150,000 crazy points to buy one. What the hell is this? Onion was shocked. He thought he could buy 3, but now he found out that he was too naive. The price will still rise. He checked the note. Consumables by 1 will double the price, no limit. Isn't this a scam? Onion wanted to curse. This means that after buying the third one, the fourth 10x EXP card will need 200,000 crazy points. He knew that when he kills monsters in the future, he will definitely get a lot of crazy points. But for now, it is undoubtedly a scam. Forget it, I will buy other multiples of EXP card and buy crazy points card. It is really a scam. Onion shook his head. Without crazy points, it is really difficult to move forward. At this time, all the disciples of Jade Palace have finished moving. When they know that they can freely enter and exit heaven's immersing ancient ruins, they were shocked. A place they dreamed of. They will live here in the future. How can they not be shocked? At this time, it is also time for Onion to leave. He stayed here to see if there will be any changes. He is not in a hurry to leave. Now that Jade Palace has finished moving, it is time for him to leave. And I have to go. I'll be back soon. The control of this place has been transferred to you, so you are equivalent to the second owner. Onion can give the control to Shuyin, but he is still the main controller, just one more controller. Well, you must be careful. Shuyin looked at him with her beautiful eyes. She wanted to say a lot, but she couldn't. Onion nodded. After looking at her for the last time, he turned and disappeared into the distant forest. Shuyin stared for a long time. She doesn't know how long she stood at the door, and finally went back with some reluctance. After saying goodbye, Onion went straight to another area, Heavenly Border Continent. The place he stayed before is called Earthly Border Continent. However, the area he stayed in is only a small part of it, but the forces are generally at the peak of second level. There is basically no third level force. Heavenly Border Continent is different. It is more vast, has more forces, and more abundant resources. Qing Xin Mansion is here, but it is only one of the forces. There are many more powerful forces here. His purpose here is relatively simple. That is to kill demon beasts. He does not intend to join any sect. He just came here to kill demon beasts. Different areas, the level of demon beasts that exist is basically the same. With his current cultivation, he doesn't know how many demon beasts he needs to kill to level up. Even if he has the patience to kill demon beasts, there is not enough demon beasts for him to kill. Chapter 124. Onion rode the black dragon and flew straight to the heavenly boundary continent. He flew at the fastest speed. Finally, after flying for a few days, he saw a sea. On the other side of this sea was a brand new continent. That is the heavenly boundary continent. It really seems like the name. It has the feeling of the heavenly boundary continent. There is a light in the sky covering this area, bathing the entire continent. This looks like a miracle, but many people don't know what is going on. But one thing they know is that the cultivation environment of the heavenly boundary continent is much better than that of the earthly boundary continent. If you want to go to the heavenly boundary continent, you have to cross this sea. It's not difficult, you just need to take a ship to cross. It's just that if you go there, the competitive environment is even worse. So many sects can't bear it and finally choose to move to the earthly boundary continent. Among them, Jade Palace seems to be moved from the heavenly boundary continent. This seems a bit wasteful, but in a world like a battlefield without a strong cultivation, it's really impossible to survive. Because of this, the heavenly boundary continent didn't have any first-grade forces. The worst ones were second-grade forces, and these second-grade forces were very strong. It was necessary to have a spirit core expert, otherwise they wouldn't be able to survive here. Because Onion has a black dragon, he can easily cross this sea without a ship. It's just that this black dragon flying in the sky is really dazzling. Look, that's a black dragon. Yes, it's really a black dragon. I didn't expect someone can use a dragon as a mount. This is incredible. How did he do it? The person riding on it seems very young. When the cultivators who crossed the sea on a ship to the heavenly boundary continent saw the black dragon in the sky, they were all shocked. This is a rare scene, absolutely impossible to see. Onion, who is riding on the black dragon, completely ignored their gazes. He knows that if he wants to cross this sea, he must fly or take a ship. However, the time needed to travel by ship was too long, at least a few days. He only needed a short day to cross the entire sea. This was all thanks to the black dragon's astonishing flying speed, which was much faster than the giant eagle. He didn't want to waste time here. He guessed that the Qingxian mansion would only take 2 to 3 months to attack. This meant that he only had 2 to 3 months. 3 months was the limit. By the time they realized that something was wrong, a long time had passed. After all, the Qingxian mansion was located in the heavenly boundary continent, which was quite far away. Even if they rode a giant eagle, it would take them more than a week to get there. Plus, since he is hiding in the heavens, immersing ancient ruins, no one will be able to find him for a while, so he still has some time, at least 2 or 3 months. However, he had given himself a time limit of 3 months. No matter what his cultivation level was, he had to return as soon as possible. Heaven's immersing ancient ruins is too dilapidated. Under the crazy attack, it might really break. Because he was wearing the 100 transformation mask, he didn't have to worry about being recognized. So he rode the black dragon to his heart's content. Riding on the black dragon, he soon arrived at the opposite heavenly boundary continent. As soon as he entered the area, Tianyun immediately felt a strong spiritual power rushing towards him. The spiritual power here is quite strong, at least 2 or 3 times stronger than in the earthly boundary continent. This is enough to shock people. No wonder there are so many strong cultivators here. Just by staying here, the cultivation speed is several times faster than in the earthly boundary continent. And this is just the most ordinary place. If it's a better place, the effect will be absolutely amazing. No wonder so many people came to the heavenly boundary continent. The cultivation environment here is really good. Tianya nodded. He felt that this place is indeed very suitable for cultivation. Although it's not as good as the spirit-gathering formation in the heavens immersing ancient ruins, it's a lot closer. At least it's a blessing for ordinary cultivators. For this reason, many people from the earthly boundary continent came to the heavenly boundary continent to explore. It is precisely because there are too many cultivators here, so there are more conflicts suitable for those extremely radical cultivators. Compared to here, the earthly boundary continent is a bit more gentle, but the cultivation speed is much slower. Soon after, he surveyed his surroundings and saw a city in the distance. After which, he found a remote place and landed. After which, he changed his expression and swaggered towards the nearest city. No one recognized him now, so there's no pressure to walk around. Because he came to this area for the first time, he didn't know where the most monsters were. He could only come here to inquire about the most dangerous place with many monsters. He wanted to go straight to that kind of place, otherwise leveling up in other places is too slow. Unless he goes crazy here and kills people he sees, then his level will definitely soar. But he won't do that. Although he is not a good person, he is definitely not a murderous maniac. It is completely not in line with his state of mind. Soon, he came to the nearest city. There are several guards outside the gate. All of them are above the 3rd or 4th level of spirit refinement realm. As long as a cultivator comes in, they will immediately collect money. Qingxian City. Tianyin looked up at the huge city gate. 3 big characters are deeply engraved on it. The person who can engrave these characters is definitely a strong cultivator, at least above the spirit core realm. Wait, are you new here? You can go in after paying 10 gold. The guard stared at the new cultivator and pointed to the sign next to him. Don't you see this sign? If you want to go in, you have to pay 10 golds. The cultivator's face is bitter. His cultivation is only at the body refinement realm, so he doesn't have much money on him. 10 gold is not a small amount, but if he wants to go in, he can only pay. Soon it is Tianyun's turn. He took out 10 gold and put it on the side. Then he can go in and out at will. As long as you come out and then go in, you have to pay 10 gold again. This is equivalent to protection fee. After entering, it is equivalent to being protected by the city. After entering, you can't fight at will, you can't rob, you will be severely punished. There are no rules, so this is equivalent to a novice city, protecting the newcomers. This place is closest to the sea, which means that the cultivators who come here are from the Earth boundary continent, so their cultivation is basically not high. Tianjin City is undoubtedly a very good choice. You can cultivate here. You can also find things to do here, improve your cultivation, and then go to other places. Chapter 125. After Tianyun entered, he saw a bustling street. There was an endless stream of cultivators coming and going, and many of them did not have high cultivation. For them, this place was simply heaven. Compared to the outside, this place was much safer, but without money, it would be impossible to stay here. If you want to enter and exit this place without paying any fees, it is actually relatively simple. That is to become a resident of Heavenly New City. This is done by joining Heavenly New City. The conditions are relatively simple. That is to help Heavenly New City complete tasks. For example, picking spirit herbs, hunting demon beasts, or searching for evil people. As long as you complete a lot of tasks, you can get contribution points. When you reach a certain amount, you can exchange it for permanent residency and other things. It can be said that it is similar to money. You can exchange it for anything. As long as you have enough contribution points, it is not a problem to exchange for an Earth-level martial art, but the number of contribution points required is relatively high. However, Tianyan does not need to care about this. He needs to understand the surrounding information. He went straight to a shop, threw out a gold ingot, and said indifferently, "Give me the detailed information of Heavenly Boundary Continent." When the shopkeeper saw the gold ingot, his eyes lit up. "Very well. Please wait a moment." With that, he immediately turned back to the house and took out all the miscellaneous books, which recorded the most detailed situation of the Heavenly Borders continent. Tianyan took it and flipped through it. There's indeed a lot of content. Generally, all aspects are marked, such as the forces, the surrounding danger zones, all are marked one by one. The price is relatively moderate, suitable for those cultivators who have just arrived. After reading for a while, Tianyan frowned. It is true that the danger zones are marked in general, but the detailed content is very little, almost skipped over. This is like saying that a knife is very sharp, but it does not say who made it, what material is used, how much is the price. The detailed content is too little. If you go there, it is dangerous, but without a demon beast that matches your cultivation, it would be a wasted trip. "Shopkeeper, do you have any details about the danger zone?" Tianyan asked. "I don't have that. For more details, you can only go to the Star Pavilion. You can buy all the information you need there." The shopkeeper rubbed his palms together, his face filled with respect. The things that Tianyan wanted were only a few taels of silver, but he gave him an ingot of gold. How could he not be respectful? "Star Pavilion, huh? Looks like I can only go there." Tianyan didn't know before, but now he understood the situation. The status of Star Pavilion here is similar to that of Rain House. They sell all kinds of things and information. Here, you can buy all the news about the Heavenly Boundary Continent, even accurate information about a certain cultivator. Of course, the cultivator had to be valuable, such as the one on the wanted list. Only then would the Star Pavilion pay attention to him. As long as the price was high enough, they would give accurate information. They would definitely not cheat people. The Star Pavilion had branches all over the Heavenly Boundary Continent, unlike the Heavenly Rain Pavilion, which had branches, but only in a few cities. This Star Pavilion is powerful. It is equivalent to a force. It belongs to the top of the third-grade forces. No one dares to provoke it. It is because of such a strong force that they dare to open these treasure pavilions. Otherwise, in remote places, they would be robbed. Shortly after, he turned around and walked to the entrance of the Star Pavilion. Looking at the towering pagoda in front of him, he felt a sense of pressure. Whether it was the decorations or the materials used, they were all relatively wild. Dark steel, a material that could be used to forge an upper-grade spirit tool, was used to build the whole pagoda. It could be described as rich and overbearing. Not only in Heavenly New City, but also in other cities, it is a symbol of the Star Pavilion. This pagoda is equivalent to a fortress. As long as the door is closed, as long as the cultivation is not very high, no one can break in. Is this the Star Pavilion? Why not call it Star Tower? Tianyan smiled and stepped inside. As soon as he entered, the guards stared at him. Their cultivation is at 8th level spirit refinement realm. However, after sizing him up for a while, he ignored him. After entering, he can see a strong core condensation realm cultivator walking in this first floor. As one of the stewards here, he is responsible for the safety of this place. Tianyin couldn't help but sigh. Sure enough, in this area, it is easy to see people with high cultivation. I don't know how I can help you. The female cultivator next to him greeted him with a smile. As long as a guest comes in, they must greet them with the best smile. Their cultivation is not high, only at first-level spirit refinement realm. In the first-grade forces, they're already worthy of training, but here, they can only serve as a receptionist. This is the gap between regions. Generally, when the cultivation is not low, the level is a level higher. Tianyin glanced at the first floor. There are a lot of good materials, but he doesn't have much interest now. I want to buy information, Tianyin said directly. Yes, please come with me. The female cultivator took him upstairs. After walking to the third floor, she took him to the innermost part. There is an old man sitting there with his eyes closed. Even when they walked in front of him, he didn't wake up. Deacon Huang, there is a guest, the female cultivator whispered. Deacon Huang woke up, and as soon as he opened his eyes, he looked directly at Tianyin, and after a moment he smiled. Good boy, you're so young, yet you hide your strength. It seems that you're new to Star Pavilion, right? Why do you say that? Tianyin said. Deacon Huang's cultivation is also not low. He is at 5th level core condensation, which is relatively high. Although I can't see how strong your cultivation is, I can vaguely feel that you have a sense of pressure. Although your aura is very weak, I can still feel a little bit. You're so young, and your cultivation isn't bad. You're definitely on the list. Unfortunately, I don't have your memories, so you're probably not from Heavenly Boundary Continent. Deacon Huang smiled. Am I right? In just a short while, Xiaochen was able to see some clues. It seemed that this stellar pavilion was really something. Is it important? Tianyin smiled indifferently and didn't answer the question. I came here to buy information. Where's the most dangerous place with the most demon beasts? And the cultivation level can't be too low, at least core condensation level. Chapter 126. Tianyin doesn't care what Deacon Huang thinks. Anyway, as long as he goes out, he can change his face without any pressure. Deacon Huang squinted his eyes and looked at Tianyin. He has to say that this news is quite impactful. Specifically looking for a dangerous place, and looking for a core condensation cultivator, it must be to hunt demon beasts. It seems that this friend is planning to hunt demon beasts. Deacon Huang's eyes flash with interest. I can give you this news, but now I have two options for you. The first option is to hunt demon beasts. As long as you sell them to us, we will give you a good price, and the information fee will be free. The second option is 1,000 gold. We will give you the information directly. Compared to this, I prefer to cooperate with you. The price is absolutely advantageous. I think you know the situation of Star Pavilion. We will definitely give you a good price. It just so happens that we are short of a batch of demon beasts. If you can provide it to us, that would be great. No problem, but I only need materials in exchange, not gold. Tianyin's eyes lit up. He doesn't hate this kind of condition. Anyway, he's going to kill demon beasts, so collecting the corpses is just a matter of convenience. Deal? Tianyin immediately agreed. This is equivalent to an extra task. Why not accept it? Successfully accepted hunting demon beast task. Hunting 100 core condensation demon beasts. Reward 500. 000 EXP. 10,000 gold. 10,000 crazy point. 10 lottery tickets. Star Pavilion favorability increased by 100. A task suddenly popped up. It's a side task. It makes his eyes light up. He needs this kind of task. Especially if he can build a good relationship with Star Pavilion. This is even better. Star Pavilion has amazing power. It's naturally good to have a good relationship with them. To be honest, there are few places where demon beasts gather, especially those above core condensation. After all, the higher the cultivation of the demon beasts, the more they don't like to live in groups. This time I just got the latest news that is in the Devil Sea Danger Zone. Deacon Huang said, Devil Sea Danger Zone? Tianyin frowned. There are a total of 5 danger zones in Heavenly Border Continent, one of which is Devil Sea Danger Zone. But the danger level is at least top 3. The main reason was that it was seawater, and it was impossible to fly in the first place. Even if one's cultivation was not bad, one would not be able to move freely in the sea. making it even more difficult. Don't tell me those demonic beasts are all in the sea. This is not an easy task. Tianyun did not like to hunt demonic beasts in the sea. It was not a good thing. He couldn't go on a killing spree in the sea. It was too difficult. Even with the black dragon, it wouldn't be easy to deal with him. Of course, it's impossible. If you don't have a core transformation stage cultivation, you won't be able to kill the demon beasts in the sea at will. Deacon Huang said sullenly. I'm talking about the demonic cloud island in the demonic sea. I don't know what's going on, but a group of demonic beasts suddenly appeared there. They all climbed up from the bottom of the sea and gathered together. Their cultivation ranges from spirit refinement realm to core condensation realm. However, we can only observe it from afar. As for the details, we are not too sure. We cannot rule out the possibility of an existence with a higher cultivation. Tianyun's eyes lit up. As long as there were a lot of them, it would be more meaningful to use the 10 times EXP card. Deacon Huang said in a deep voice, but the demonic sea is very dangerous. Most people can't fly, so it's even more dangerous to go there by boat. Maybe they will die on the way before they reach the destination. This is the general information. At present, only this information is consistent. There are other powerful demonic beasts, but you said that there are a lot of them gathered together. That's enough. This information is very good. This is what I need. Tianyun was very satisfied. This kind of information can't be obtained from normal channels. Because the demonic sea is extremely dangerous, normal cultivators can't go there, so it's impossible to know the information there. It's good that you're satisfied, but this is very dangerous. Are you sure you want to go? If it's just to hunt demonic beasts, I have a few here. Deacon Huang's eyes narrowed. Tianyun's answer made him even more confused. No need, this is it. Tianyun smiled and said, I plan to go to the demonic cloud island to hunt demonic beasts. Your star pavilion doesn't plan to carefully explore or hunt those demonic beasts. Our star pavilion is very powerful, but we're not willing to go everywhere, especially this kind of dangerous place. If we're not careful, a few deacons or elders will lose their lives. This is not a cost-effective thing. Deacon Huang smiled and said, we just need to provide information. We don't care about anything else. Has anyone bought this information? Tianyun squinted and asked. I can't tell you about that. Deacon Huang smiled in a professional manner. Tianyun smiled and didn't force anything. Then do we need to sign something? Tianyun asked. No need. You've already signed a verbal agreement with me. All the demonic beasts you hunt will be sold to us. Of course, you can keep some for yourself, but you can't sell it to other forces except us. Once you sell it, you'll be in violation of the rules and will be completely blacklisted by our Star Pavilion. We will not sell anything to you in the future. If you can hide the information from us, you can sell it to us. Deacon Huang smiled and said confidently. Star Pavilion's collection of information was top-notch, so if Tianyun sold the demonic beasts, he would definitely be blacklisted. However, Star Pavilion would not eradicate Tianyun because of this. They would only blacklist him and never allow him to enter. As one of the top treasure pavilions in Heavenly Border Continent, if Star Pavilion was blacklisted, many treasure pavilions would not be able to enter, which would be a big loss. Don't worry, since I've promised, I will do it. Tianyun smiled and said, I believe you. Deacon Huang said, then what do you need us to provide, such as a ship or something else? That's not necessary. Just provide me with a general route. Tianyun said, this is a must. I'll give you the corresponding accurate information now. You can take a look at it carefully. Deacon Huang stood up and walked into the room behind him. Soon, he came out with an astrolabe in his hand. This astrolabe allowed him to see the relevant routes. After receiving the astrolabe, Tianyun read the information inside. Sure enough, it was a very detailed map. Even the entire Heavenly Border Continent was included in it. Among them, there was a shining bright spot outside the Heavenly Border Continent. That was Devil Cloud Island. That's Devil Cloud Island. Just follow this route. Deacon Huang smiled and said, good. Then I'll accept it, wait for my news. Tianyun put away the astrolabe and turned to leave. Young master, wait a minute, how many people are you going with? Deacon Huang asked. No, I'm alone. Chapter 127. After Etienne left, he went straight to the Devil Cloud Island. After leaving quickly, someone immediately flashed out of the Star Pavilion and stared at Etienne's figure, and then quickly followed him. But when he went out of the gate, he found that Etienne had disappeared. What's the situation? He disappeared. The cultivator who was responsible for tracking Etienne's situation was stunned. In a blink of an eye, Etienne disappeared. He didn't know where he went. He patted his thigh and said in distress, "It seems that when I go back, I will definitely be scolded." Etienne was alone, so Deacon Huang must investigate to see if he was acting alone. He didn't expect him to disappear as soon as he came out. How could he not be distressed? "Deacon Huang, the young master is gone. I lost him." The guard who came back lowered his head. His face was full of guilt. "It's okay. It's normal for you to lose him. His cultivation is unfathomable. I can't accurately sense how strong he is. But since he has the courage to go to the Devil Cloud Island, his cultivation must not be bad." Deacon Huang waved his hand and said, "This is not your fault. You can go now." The guard finally heaved a sigh of relief and immediately retreated. Deacon Huang's eyes flashed a few rays of light. "I don't know where that kid came from. I don't know if he really went to the Devil Cloud Island alone. Although the Star Pavilion happened to be short of demon beasts, it doesn't mean that they will send people to hunt them because the price is too high. At least a lot of core condensation cultivators or spirit core cultivators must be organized. If they didn't have any treasures, it wouldn't be worth it to just go hunting. The demon beast body can be used as alchemy materials or forging materials. It can also be sold to others for a high price. But for them, there is no need to collect these things themselves. It is enough to rely on acquisition." Outside the city gates, Etienne naturally sensed that someone was following him as he walked out. However, he paid no attention to it as he activated stealth and disappeared into a corner. After walking out of the city gate, he found a remote corner and summoned the Black Dragon. He rode the Black Dragon and flew towards Devil Cloud Island at an extremely fast speed. In an instant, it soared to the limit. Like a sharp arrow, it shot forward at an extreme speed, leaving a black shadow in the sky. It should be roughly in this direction. Etienne checked the astrolabe. He had been flying for 2 days and was only halfway there. If they were to sail slowly, it would take at least half a month to reach their destination, and the journey would be even more dangerous. Assuming there was no danger, the round trip would take more than a month. If there was no Black Dragon, he would definitely not accept this mission. In fact, compared to this, he wanted to kill his way to Qing Xian Mansion, but his cultivation is not high enough. If he went there and was surrounded, it would be a dead end. When he was about to continue flying towards Devil Cloud Island, he suddenly saw a large ship surrounded by more than a dozen ships on the seashore in the distance. These ships were all small, but they were being towed by sky sharks. Those who can subdue demon beasts like flying sharks must not be simple. "Hey, boss, there are several beautiful girls on the ship. This time we can eat meat again. We didn't play enough last time, and this time, they are obviously more beautiful." The pirate next to him smirked and looked at the female cultivators on the ship with pale faces. He licked his lips as if he had encountered a delicious meal. "Not bad, this batch looks really good, and the quality is even better. It seems that this is a good sect." Bai Yuntao looked at the cultivators on the ship. His eyes flashed with a bit of sinister light, and immediately said to the cultivators on the ship, "I advise you to surrender. Do you think you can fight us here? This sea region is our world." He wasn't spouting nonsense. With the help of the flying sky shark, they could swim freely in the sea without having to worry about encountering anything. The cultivators on the ship are pale. Their cultivation is not high. Basically, they are at 7th or 8th level of spirit refinement, and the strongest is at 3rd level of core condensation. But compared to the pirates on the opposite side, there are 3 core condensation cultivators. Moreover, they can control a large number of flying sharks. This gap is simply incomparable. We are all from Heaven's Top Mansion. I advise you to leave quickly. Otherwise, don't blame our sect leader for coming after you." One of the male disciples shouted loudly, but his voice is not full of confidence. "Heaven's Top Mansion?" Bai Yuntao sneered. That broken sect, and you call it mansion? It's not even as good as a second-level faction, and you call it mansion? Deacon Xian, what should we do? One of the beautiful women in yellow clothes asked with a pale face. They could all imagine what would happen to them if they were captured. The rest of them are the same. They are looking at Deacon Xian, who has the highest cultivation, to see what he can do. This time, they came out to train. They are planning to wander around this area. Although this is the sea, it is not close to the Devil's Sea, so it is still safe, but they didn't expect to encounter a group of pirates. Generally speaking, it is rare to encounter pirates, but this time, they met a lot of them. Deacon Xian's expression is indifferent. He did not panic at all. Instead, he looked at them and said, "Surrender. This is the best way." What? The female disciples on the ship suddenly turned pale. They thought they will have to fight to escape, but they did not expect that Deacon Xian did not even resist and let them surrender. Deacon Xian, what are you talking about? One of the male disciples stood up and said angrily, Deacon Xian, even if we die, we have to fight. We can't let them do what they want. We will die anyway. In addition to this male disciple, the rest of the male disciples have a high awareness. If they are captured by these pirates, their fate is no different from death. That being the case, it is better to fight. This way, they may have a chance to survive. Deacon Xian suddenly moved. He rushed in front of the male disciple and fiercely kicked him. With a pung sound, the male disciple was kicked flying. He looked up to the sky and spat out a mouthful of blood before sinking to the bottom of the sea, no longer able to float. Since you want to die, then die first. Deacon Xian looked at the other disciples coldly and said, Now, who else refuses to surrender? Old Xian, why are you in such a hurry? We haven't played enough. Scare them. This is fun. Bai Yuntao smiled. His eyes are full of ridicule. Chapter 128. Deacon Xianyu, how can you betray us? They glared at Deacon Xian. Their faces are pale. They didn't expect that Deacon Xian, who led them here, is actually colluding with these pirates. Deacon Xian looked at their shocked expression, and then immediately changed into a grim expression. He sneered and said, Heaven's top mansion is finished. We don't have resources. We don't have status. If I continue to stay there, how long will it take for me to break through to Spirit Core stage? I don't want to stay in that damn place anymore. It's better to go with Brother Bai. In this sea, even Qing Xian Mansion doesn't dare to break in. It's safer than anywhere else. Deacon Xian personally admitted that he colluded with the pirates. This news undoubtedly has a great impact on them. But they have to admit that what he said is the truth. Heaven's top mansion has declined. It's not even comparable to ordinary second-grade forces. They have very few resources. It's really hard for them to break through to core condensation. No wonder you propose to take us out to gain experience. In fact, you want us to be captured. The yellow-clothed woman is the highest cultivation level. Her name is Yang Shishue, and she has the highest status among them. It seems that she doesn't want to surrender. Yes, you have the highest cultivation level. The best talent, of course. I brought you here. Deacon Xian's face is grim. Looking at Yang Shishue from head to toe, he said, Little girl, you are the most delicate. As long as you follow me, I promise I won't let them touch you. Yang Shishue's face is pale. She clenched her teeth and said, Get out of here, you traitor. Even if we die, we won't let you succeed. After she finished speaking, she took out her sword and placed it across her neck. The other female disciples followed suit and took out their swords. When they were about to commit suicide, Deacon Xian's eyes and hands were already sharp. He snatched the other's sword and slapped it, causing Yang Shishue to fall to the ground. Want to commit suicide? Too naive? Deacon Xian's eyes are cold. What are you waiting for? Do it. At this time, a few of the male disciples in the group suddenly moved. They attacked their female companions, snatching the swords from their hands and stopping them from committing suicide. Senior sister, why are you in such a hurry? You haven't even had a good time with us. They laughed evilly. The traitors were not only Deacon Xian, there were also a few male disciples. That's a wise move. If you follow us, you'll definitely have a good life. Don't worry, we will treat you well. You still have to give birth to our descendants. Bai Yuntao smirked. Their faces became even paler. They would rather die than marry these pirates. Huang Xiongyu, how could you do this? The rest of the male disciples who didn't betray pointed at them in anger. They were so angry that their hands were trembling. There were a total of more than 20 of them. Apart from Deacon Qian, there were also a few male disciples who had betrayed them. Hey, Deacon Qian already told us that we have a better future in Heaven's Top Mansion. There's no future in Heaven's Top Mansion, so why bother staying there? Exactly. Heaven's Top Mansion's resources are too little. There's only one pill every month. How can it be called a mansion? We might as well call it the Celestial Pole Palace. They mocked and ridiculed Heaven's Top Mansion. They thought that Heaven's Top Mansion was a trash sect and wanted to leave. Shut up, Yang Shishua angrily said. Heaven's Top Mansion's resources are too little, but they have done their best to train us. How could they let us down? Although Heaven's Top Mansion is in decline now, I believe that sooner or later, they will create glory again. She proudly raised her head. Although Heaven's Top Mansion is in decline now, at least they treat them well. That's enough. Create glory again? Even if it will be glory in the future, at least you won't see it now. Deacon Qian coldly snorted. Take them back. I'll teach them a lesson. Heaven's Top Mansion is nothing but bullshit. They're all useless. Well said, it's Heaven's Top Mansion's honor to have you in this generation. At this time, a black shadow landed on the ship. He thought it was a pirate, but he didn't expect it to be a collusion. He hates this kind of people the most. Moreover, it's Heaven's Top Mansion, a force that has some relationship with him. So he must help them. But he didn't expect that Heaven's Top Mansion has fallen to this point. Every one of them chose to betray, which is undoubtedly the saddest thing. In the end, it's all about benefits. Without enough benefits, it's impossible to keep their greedy hearts. Who is it? Deacon Qian and the others felt a chill in their hearts. Suddenly, someone appeared next to them. This really gave them a fright. They didn't even know where this person came from. Everyone's eyes were focused on Yi Tianyun. They found a young man standing on the deck, looking at them indifferently. Friends from Heaven's Top Mansion. After that, Yi Tianyun stretched out his hand and used Absorbing Star's great technique. A super strong suction force instantly shrouded Deacon Qian. Deacon Qian exclaimed. He didn't even have time to struggle. He was sucked into Yi Tianyun's palm. The spiritual power inside his body was madly sucked out. In less than a moment, half of the spiritual power inside his body was sucked out. What kind of evil technique is this? Deacon Qian struggled, but his body couldn't move at all. After being sucked in, he found that he didn't even have the strength to struggle. He could only watch as Yi Tianyun sucked out his spiritual power. Everyone was shocked. A person fell from the sky and easily controlled Deacon Qian. No one expected this. It's a good technique to deal with you. Yi Tianyun smiled indifferently. Quick, save me. What are you doing? Deacon Qian felt that his spiritual power was sucked out. So he quickly asked Bai Yuntao for help. This time, Bai Yuntao and the others recovered and controlled the flying shark to approach them. But before they could get close, a huge black dragon came down from the sky. They didn't have time to react, and the black dragon heavily pressed them down. Bang! Under this heavy pressure, a group of pirates was directly crushed. Immediately, with a roar, extremely high-temperature flames swept to the side, sweeping a large number of pirates, and they were all ignited by the black flames. After the pirates screamed, they jumped into the water. But when they jumped into the water, they found that the flame can't be extinguished by ordinary seawater. It continued to burn, and their bodies were burned to ashes. Chapter 129. Black Dragon? Bai Yuntao and the others were dumbfounded by the scene. They had seen many demonic beasts, but they had never seen a divine beast like the black dragon before. He had never seen a black dragon in his entire life. Not bad, do you like it? Yi Tianyun smiled and said, Kill them, this group of trash. At this time, they suddenly turned their head and looked at Yi Tianyun as if they saw a ghost. Does this black dragon belong to this young man? It was too late to verify this. The black dragon had already roared and waved his sharp claws to grab them fiercely, tearing the surrounding pirates in half. The black dragon's strength was several times that of a cultivator's. so it could easily tear a person into pieces with its claws. "Run, run!" Bai Yuntao screamed in horror and jumped into the water without hesitation. There was only water here to cover their escape. Therefore, even if they were at a disadvantage in terms of cultivation, they had a great advantage in terms of the environment. Basically, they were successful in every endeavor. Unfortunately, they kicked an iron plate this time, and it is a very thick iron plate. Roar! The black dragon's mouth is full of fire. Aiming at the direction whereby Yuntao escaped, it spat out a black flame, penetrating the sea in one fell swoop and continued to penetrate deep into the sea. Immediately, a burst of bubbles emerged from the bottom of the sea. After a moment, a charred body floated up from below. Ding! Successfully killed by Yuntao, gaining 480. 000 EXP. 2200 crazy point. Obtain the skill to control flying shark, martial art diving impact, low-grade earth level martial art. Ding! Successfully killed Lu Yuqing, gained experience. Ding! Pet black dragon, successfully leveled up to second level core condensation. In crazy mode, after killing these pirates, the black dragon's EXP soared and quickly broke through to second level core condensation. The rest of the pirates were killed by the black dragon. The pirates that surrounded them were killed one after another. Some of them were lucky enough to escape because they were far away and quickly jumped into the water. However, that was not the main point. The main point was to kill the leaders. The remaining shrimp soldiers and crab generals were useless. In the blink of an eye, all the pirates were destroyed. The disciples who betrayed Heaven's top mansion trembled in fear as they looked at Yi Tianyun in horror. They don't know who Yi Tianyun is, but since Yi Tianyun helped Heaven's top mansion, he must be a friend of Heaven's top mansion. In that case, what would happen to the traitors? Run, run! They turned around and jumped into the water, but they were still half a beat too slow. The black dragon had already flown in front of them, and its huge body knocked them back. With a bang, the few people who were about to jump into the water were knocked into the boat, smashing many planks. If you want to escape, you have to ask me first. At this time, Yi Tianyun threw Deacon Qian in front of him. His whole body was paralyzed on the ground. The spiritual power in his body has been completely drained. At the same time, part of his energy was also drained, and many of his meridians were broken. Deacon Qian has become a waste. Not to mention escaping, he can't even stand up. They were overloaded, and they can't move even if they wanted to. Well, it's done. These traitors, how do you want to deal with them? Do you want to take them back to the sect or execute them on the spot? Yi Tianyun looked up at them and asked. He doesn't mind taking Deacon Qian back. Although he gained a lot of experience points, Spirit King Qian Tian gave him a lot of things. Even the heavens immersing ancient ruins was given to him. From a moral point of view, it doesn't matter if they take him back. At this time, Yang Shishue, who was the leader, came back to her senses. This scene is too shocking. There is also a black dragon next to them. It seems like everything is so unreal. Everything was over in the blink of an eye. The traitor is already paralyzed on the ground. He doesn't even have the strength to resist. Senior, who are you to our Heaven's top mansion? Yang Shishue's voice trembled. Although she knows that Yi Tianyun is not an enemy, but this kind of pressure still makes them tremble. How do I say it in short? We are friends? Yi Tianyun doesn't know how to describe it. He has a relationship with Spirit King Qian Tian. He is considered as their ancestor's disciple. In this way, he is equivalent to their ancestor. But he didn't say it out loud. He still has important things to do. Friends? Yang Shishue and the others looked at each other and immediately kneeled down and said, Junior thanks Senior for saving our lives. This traitor will be taken back by us and executed by the mansion lord. If Senior has time, I don't know if you can come with us to Heaven's top mansion? I can't for the time being. I still have things to do. You can go back now. I don't think there will be any pirates in this area. There shouldn't be any pirates in this area. Yi Tianyun smiled and said, You still have a lot of things to deal with. Go back and explain it to your mansion lord. I saw your determination just now. Even if Heaven's top mansion is declining now, I believe it will become stronger in the future. Thank you, Senior, for your kind words. Yang Shishue and the others are excited. It's the best thing for them to be recognized by someone. Immediately, young Shishua thought for a moment and said, I don't know when Senior will come to our Heaven's Top Mansion. We have to repay Senior for saving our lives. We will see each other again. Etianyin waved his hand and jumped on the black dragon. He smiled at them and said, I'm optimistic about you. I hope the next time I see you, you will have improved a lot. After that, Etianyin rode the black dragon and flew towards Devil Cloud Island. He quickly disappeared from their sight. Senior Sister Yang, you said that Senior is so young. How did he cultivate? And the black dragon as a mount is too powerful. I don't know who he is in Heaven's Top Mansion. The junior sister next to Yang Shishua wondered. I'm not sure about that, but since he can save us, he must be a friend of the elders of Heaven's Top Mansion. Yang Shishua's beautiful eyes are shining with tears. This is the feeling of surviving a disaster. If it weren't for Etianyin, they would have been dead or humiliated to death. It's scary to think about it. Since Senior will tell us about Heaven's Top Mansion, we will thank him. Yang Shishue turned around and looked at Deacon Qian, who fainted on the ground. Her eyes are cold. Tie them up and bring them back to the mansion, Lord. Yes. Their voice is so loud. Looking at the traitors, they are angry. If it weren't for the sect lord's judgment, they would have already executed them. Chapter 130. After this episode, Etianyin continued on his way to Devil Cloud Island. He didn't expect to meet people from Heaven's Top Mansion on the way. It seems like there is some kind of relationship between them. It was hard to say whether it was fated or not, but it was such a coincidence that they met in this vast ocean. But even if they are not from Heaven's Top Mansion, he will still save them. He may not be a good person, but at least he knows what is right and wrong. Ding, successfully completed. Saving a life is better than building a 7-floor pagoda of achievement. Obtained Savior primary title. Permanently increased 200 prestige points. At this time, a message suddenly popped up, which made him stunned. He didn't expect to complete a hidden achievement after saving them. He doesn't need any equipment at all. The effects of these titles are stacked, which means that he suddenly gained 200 prestige points. I didn't expect to complete a savior. I guess the number of villagers I saved before, plus the number of people I save now, to reach the target. Etianyin smiled. This is different from the Guardian title. It increases his prestige points. But he also saw that it is a primary title. Does it mean that if he continues to save people, he can continue to strengthen this title? But he doesn't know about the Guardian title. It can't be increased. If it continues to stack, it will definitely reach a terrifying value. Especially the prestige points, it is of great help to him now. The success rate of Forging Soul Tool, before it was less than 10%. Now it directly increased to 20%. With the help of Luck Aura, it is estimated that the success rate can reach 50%. Etianyin was happy, but he didn't intend to give it a try. There is no need to use Luck Aura now. It will only waste Crazy Point. Although increasing 200 prestige points can increase the success rate by 10%, but that is only for the early stage. The later stage is getting more and more difficult. Even increasing the success rate by 5% is extremely difficult. But to be able to increase the success rate by 50% is already amazing, at least not like the previous 10% success rate. That is terrifying. Almost there, Etianyin checked the astrolabe in his hand. Looking at the route, he is almost at the Devil Cloud Island. Finally, after a distance, the Devil Cloud Island came into view. There is no need for any introduction. He knows that it is the Devil Cloud Island. Devil Cloud Island, as the name suggested, was a small island with a mass of black clouds. It looked like lightning was flashing in the black clouds, as if a bolt of lightning would strike down from the sky at any time. But in fact, there will be a lightning strike at any time. If struck, even a core condensation cultivator will die. This black cloud did not cover a large area. It just covered the entire island. The island wasn't big, but it wasn't small either. It was the size of a big city. So this is Devil Cloud Island. It looks a bit strange. Etianyin squinted his eyes and saw a group of demonic beasts wandering around. However, these demonic beasts had crawled out from the bottom of the sea. They were all sea demons. There were giant octopuses, giant sharks, and even giant manatees. Their huge bodies were moving around the Devil Cloud Island, as if they were protecting something. Layer after layer, it looked very strange. Their cultivation varies from Spirit Refinement Realm to Core Condensation Realm. The lowest is at 4th level of Spirit Refinement Realm, and the highest is at 7th level of Core Condensation Realm. At a glance, the number is as many as hundreds. They're all around the edge of the entire Devil Cloud Island. Obviously, this is a very strange behavior. Under normal circumstances, they live underwater. But now they have climbed up, which undoubtedly exposed their weaknesses. In the water, their strength is doubled. Taking advantage of the environment, they can easily kill humans, but it's different on the surface. They no longer have the advantage. However, with their strong cultivation, even if they are not in the water, no cultivator would dare to fight them. In addition to Etianyun, there are no cultivators nearby. This place is so dangerous. Not everyone can come here casually. Not everyone can come here on the Black Dragon, like Etianyun. Very good. There is no one here. Just the right time to attack. Etianyun rode the Black Dragon and rushed down. At this moment, he instantly raised his strength to the maximum. Dragon God Bloodline, activate. Crazy 4 times damage mode, activate. Crazy 4 times EXP mode, activate. 5 times EXP card, activate. 10 times EXP card, activate. 2 times Crazy Point card, activate. Almost all that he can use, he superimposed it. When he swooped down, 1 man and 1 dragon seemed to merge into one, and his strength soared to the extreme. Roar! The demon beasts around the Devil Cloud Island. When they sensed the power above their heads, they all looked up. When they saw Etianyun rushing down, they immediately prepared to fight. But with their strength, how can they withstand such a powerful force from Etianyun? Boom! 1 man and 1 dragon fell down, accompanied by a loud bang. Many demon beasts were blown away. The Black Dragon waved its sharp claws and tore the demon beast next to it. The demon beast was like a thin piece of paper. It was easily torn apart. Etianyun held the Chaotic Heaven Saint axe in his hand, and it was as if he was cutting melons and vegetables. He swung the axe fiercely, and the demon beast was immediately cut in half. Ding! Successfully killed giant octopus. Gained 2,000. 000 EXP 4. 000 Crazy Point. Got an octopus tentacle. Eat it for a short period of time. Ding! Successfully killed giant sea cow. Gained 350,000 EXP 6. 000 Crazy Point. Got sea cow horror material. Ding! Successfully killed giant walrus. Gained 4,000. 000 EXP 6. 000 Crazy Point. Got walrus skin material. With the 19 times EXP stacked, plus the double Crazy Point, the value suddenly skyrocketed. Etianyun specifically killed the demon beasts with higher cultivation. The Black Dragon specifically hunted the demon beasts with lower cultivation. 1 man and 1 beast slaughtered madly. The experience is crazy. Good things are constantly dropping and constantly occupying the inventory. These demon beasts are also not afraid of death. Crazily rushed here. This just catered to Etianyun's idea. He came here to continuously hunt these demon beasts, not to look for demon beasts everywhere. It is too much of a waste of time. His experience card can last for up to an hour. After a long time, it will be gone. Ding! Pet Black Dragon successfully broke through to 3rd level core condensation. Ding! Pet Black Dragon successfully broke through to 4th level core condensation. Because the Black Dragon's level is relatively low, so its speed of leveling up is relatively fast, it suddenly leveled up 2 levels. However, Etianyun still did not level up. After all, he still needs 6 to 7 million EXP. It is not easy to fill it up. Cool, this is the feeling I want again. Chapter 131. Successfully killed giant walrus. Obtained. Etianyun and the Black Dragon continued to kill the demon beasts. If Snow Wolf was here, its killing speed would undoubtedly be even more amazing. But Etianyun left Snow Wolf in the heavens, immersing ancient ruins to protect it, so he didn't bring it out. But their speed was not slow. They were like the Grim Reaper, crazily harvesting the lives of the surrounding demon beasts. Every time he killed a demon beast, he would immediately use the storage ring to store the demon beast bodies. These bodies must be recycled and sold to the Star Pavilion. Under their crazy killing, Etienne's level finally increased again. Ding! Congratulations to player Etienne for successfully breaking through to the first level of Spirit Core stage. At the moment of breakthrough, Etienne felt that his strength suddenly soared a lot. If his previous combat power was only 390,000, now his combat power instantly exploded to 500,000. A full 500,000 battle power, 110,000 battle power, higher than before. Of course, this was not just the improvement of his cultivation, but also the upgrade of his Dragon God bloodline. Under the 3rd grade Dragon God bloodline, the dragon scales on his body became harder and more terrifying. With the superposition of quadruple damage, naturally his combat power naturally reached 500,000, which is terrifying. Voila! Etienne once again swung his axe, instantly harvesting a lot of demon beasts. It was much easier to kill them than before. It was like a piece of paper. This is the cultivation of Spirit Core stage? It's really too strong. Sure enough, the improvement of cultivation is the most fundamental key to improving strength. Etienne always knew that only after the basic data has been improved under the 4x mode will he be stronger. Of course, even without the crazy mode, breaking through to the Spirit Core stage will still be amazing. The watershed between the two is not that simple. After his cultivation erupted, his momentum became even stronger, but the surrounding demon beasts continued to rush towards him like crazy, not afraid of Etienne at all. Strange, these demonic beasts won't be scared off at all. Could it be that they have lost their minds? After killing for a long time, Etienne could clearly feel that something was wrong with these beasts. Their eyes were lifeless, as though they were being controlled by something. It looked like they were possessed. Normally, they would stay in their own territories on Devil Cloud Island. Anyone who intruded into their territory would be attacked. Now that they were all gathered together, it was already strange, but now it was even stranger. Usually, when he exploded with such power, although the demon beast's intelligence was not high, it at least knew what fear was and whether it could judge the strength of the enemy. It was obvious that they were much stronger than them, but they still didn't choose to retreat. Instead, they became more and more ferocious. Whatever, the more the merrier. I won't reject anyone. Etienne couldn't be bothered to care about the problem. Right now, all he needed to do was to kill and earn experience. He didn't need to care about anything else. Then he continued to kill, but the demon beasts here seemed to be endless. They kept climbing up from the sea and besieged him. After an hour of killing, the 10 times EXP card and Crazy Point card were used up. He continued to buy them in the shop and continued to kill. His EXP kept increasing. Heilong's level had already reached level 7 of core condensation, but Etienne had not even leveled up once. He had to admit that the amount of experience needed in the later stage was too much. Even if he had more than 10 times EXP, he still needed to kill a lot of demon beasts. Ding! Congratulations to player Etienne for successfully breaking through to 2nd level Spirit Core stage. Finally, after killing for almost 2 hours, Etienne was promoted to 2nd level Spirit Core stage. It was really a difficult process, but compared to others, it was already a lot faster. In just 2 hours, he was able to break through to the next level. Who else could do this? He didn't know how long he had been killing, but the demon beasts around him were getting less and less. It seems that the number of demon beasts is not endless. It will eventually decrease. But when he was about to finish killing, a beautiful sound came again. Ding! Congratulations to player Etienne for successfully breaking through to 3rd level Spirit Core stage. Etienne didn't expect that at this time he would still level up, but now the demon beasts were almost all gone. Only a small part was left. At most there were 5 or 6 demon beasts left. Soon, the whole Devil Cloud Island became empty. There was not a single monster beast left. Except for this black dragon, which was almost twice the size of the previous one. The rest of the monster beasts had been cleaned up. The ground was full of blood, and the thick smell of blood enveloped the whole island. Boom! As if feeling the blood on the ground, thunder began to rumble in the sky, but it didn't come down. Instead, it began to pour. With a whoosh, the rain continued to fall, washing away the bloodstains on the ground. Soon, the bloodstains were all washed away. A lot of blood flowed into the sea, but soon it was completely diluted by the seawater. Sigh, Etienne let the rain fall on his body. He felt refreshed. After killing for so long, his arms were numb, and he consumed a lot of spiritual power. But this is not a problem. Compared to the experience gained, it's all worth it. It's just that compared to his expectation, it's still too slow. He just broke through to 3rd level Spirit Core stage. It's still too slow. Is there no demon beast left to kill? Etienne turned his head and looked to the side. There were no demon beasts around, as if everything has returned to peace. Immediately, he opened the property bar to check the current situation. Player, Etienne level, 33, 3rd level Spirit Core stage, EXP, Crazy Point, 878538 Prestige, 430 Sin Point, 231 Cultivation Technique, Dark North Divine Art, Dragon God Secret Art, Xian Tian Divine Art Martial Arts, Absorbing Stars Great Technique, Blood Fiend Soaring Heaven Weapon, Frost Fist, Blood Fiend Divine Spear, Endless Sword, Chaotic Heaven Sacred Axe Armor, Divine Armor, Shadow Cloak, Chaotic Heaven Divine Armor, Chaotic Heaven Battle Boots Divine Ability, Crazy Mode, Luck Aura Bloodline, Dragon God Bloodline Ornaments, Forging God Hammer, Power Bracelet, Power Ring, Power Belt, Blood Fiend Bracelet All items, 10 Recovery Medicinal Pill, Gift Pack LV31, Life X1, Bad Luck Divine Pill, Blast Divine Pill, Walrus Skin X8, Octopus Tentacles X6, Manatee Horn X8 Treasure, Purple Fire Divine Furnace Title, Guardian, Savior Flame. Immortal Fire. There are a lot of materials in the inventory, but there are no weapons. These demon beasts only drop some materials. There are no precious things, even if the level is not low, but the things they dropped are relatively ordinary. Chapter 132. Seeing such a shocking amount of EXP, this is expected. The higher the level, the EXP will naturally increase, but there is no corresponding opponent, so leveling up is extremely difficult. Wait, what the hell is sin value? Etienne found that his property bar has a sin value. It has never appeared before, he just saw it. When he checked the sin value, he was stunned on the spot. Sin value. Novice protection ended. Successfully opened the sin value system. As long as you kill any life, you will increase the sin value. The higher the sin value, the easier it is to attract the hostility of evil people. The more evil the enemy is, the higher the sin value. Sin value can be exchanged for Crazy Point, Proficiency, EXP, and items in the Sin Mall. What? Novice protection ended? Etienne was stunned. This means that he just left the novice protection. Spirit Core Realm is just a novice protection. Isn't this system definition a bit too high? Spirit Core Realm is relatively high here. He didn't expect it to be just a novice protection. Compared to this, he is more concerned about the sin value. He didn't expect there to be such a thing. To put it nicely, it is sin value. To put it bluntly, it is to attract hatred. As this thing gets higher and higher, if he meets an arrogant person, he will be the first one to be targeted, and they will be extremely displeasing to the eye. Fortunately, it is only the hostility of evil people. If even normal people are hostile to him, then he will be finished. And this Sin Mall, what is it? Etienne opened the mall, but he didn't see the Sin Mall, so he was a little confused. Forget it, don't think too much, I can already open the level 31 gift pack. Etienne is very excited about this. Every time he leveled up the gift pack, he hopes it will not let him down this time. Open level 31 gift pack. He clicked on the level 31 gift pack, and immediately everything appeared in front of him. Open level 31 gift pack. Successfully opened the Sin Mall. Obtained 20 times EXP card, 1 hour. 3 times Crazy Point card, 1 hour. 4 times Proficiency card, 1 hour. Level 41 upgrade gift pack. There are only 3 things, but there are 20 times EXP card, 3 times crazy point card, and 4 times proficiency card, all of which are treasures that increase benefits. But he is very satisfied. In particular, he was very satisfied with the 20 times experience card. In particular, the experience card could be stacked. This meant that he had bought a 10 times experience card and a 5 times experience card, which would add up to 45 times experience points. Wouldn't the experience be flying? The same is true for the rest of the crazy point cards. They can be stacked. This is not a loophole. It can only be said that it is crazy enough. It's really good stuff, but what's the Sin Mall? What's the difference between it and an ordinary mall? Following Etianyun opened up the Sin Mall. When he saw the items on it, he was stunned. It was a whole new world. The difference between the Sin market and the normal market was too big. There was only one category: set equipment. The Sin market only sold set equipment. Moreover, the price of the set equipment was extremely high. Currently, there were only 2 set equipment on display, both of which were suitable for his current level. Evil Dragon set equipment. Level requirement: level 30. After equipping, the wearer can transform into a gigantic evil dragon that is 100 meters long at any time. All strength is increased by 10 times, defense is increased by 20 times, and has the ability to fly and devour. Price is 10,000 Sin points. Swordsman set equipment. Level requirement: level 30. After equipping, the wearer can learn to control the sword formation at any time. All the long swords within a radius of 10 miles are under the control of the wearer. Up to 10,000 long swords can be controlled by the wearer. Price is 10,000 Sin points. Amazing! Etianyun was shocked after seeing it. This can be said to be a god set equipment. Although it only provides 2 kinds, the price is too fierce. 10,000 Sin points. How can he earn this amount? This is the amount of Sin points that can only be obtained by killing 10,000 lives. Just now, he killed so many people that his hands became soft, but he only got more than 200 Sin points. If he killed 10,000 people, he doesn't know how many he would have to kill. As for killing ordinary people or other cultivators, it is obviously impossible because there is a note below. Only by killing evil people can he get Sin points, or killing people who are hostile to him can he get Sin points. If he kills ordinary people indiscriminately, then the result is that his Sin points will be deducted, and even his level will drop. Moreover, there is no need for enemies to kill him. Some strong people will come to kill him. There is no need for Sin points at all. Attracting hatred is not something that the system can bring to him. If he kills people indiscriminately, there will definitely be strong people coming to kill him. After all, killing ordinary people indiscriminately has already made him a devil. Some strong people will definitely come to kill him. Of course, even if killing ordinary people can increase his Sin points, he will still not do it. Such a cruel thing. He would rather not have any Sin points than to do such a thing. He has his own bottom line. He will never hurt people who have nothing to do with him. Only 2 sets of God set equipment, but 10,000 Sin points. How can I earn it? Etianyun frowned. And immediately when he sensed that there are people in the sky far away, he quickly kept the black dragon in the pet bar, not taking up any space. Immediately after, he looked up and saw 2 giant eagles flying over. Looking at the familiar feather carriage, Etianyun squinted his eyes. Feather carriage, I don't know who is coming. That old man refused to say what forces are coming. Those who can ride the feather carriage are not ordinary people. Of course, they are not limited to Qing Xian Mansion. Other sects also have feather carriages. It is a relatively common tool for big sects to go out. Soon, the 2 feather carriages landed, and first, a luxurious young master, wearing luxurious clothes, came out of the carriage, holding an umbrella. Obviously, by circulating his spiritual power, he could easily block the surrounding raindrops, but he still came out holding an umbrella. He looked very handsome and elegant. With a faint smile on his face, he looked very amiable. However, when Etianyun saw him, his face immediately sank, because the clothes he was wearing just happened to have the 2 words Qing Xian embroidered on it. There is no doubt that he is from Qing Xian Mansion. Enemies really don't meet each other. Immediately, he met a person from Qing Xian Mansion. Etianyun's eyes narrowed. The other person's information immediately appeared in front of him. Qing Luyun, 8th level core condensation stage, wearing a low-grade soul tool, soft golden armor, holding a low-grade soul tool, heaven level umbrella, martial arts, transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, etc. Combat power, 43,000. Chapter 133. Xiao Shi, please slow down. He walked towards the carriage next to him and opened the umbrella, but the carriage ignored him and walked out directly. The person who walked out was a beautiful young woman with a cold expression. She didn't stand with Qing Liyun, but stood on the side and circulated her spirit energy to block the raindrops. She didn't act pretentious or pretentious at all. No need. I could do it myself. Yu Shiqian said indifferently and stood a bit further away from Qing Liyun. Following them was another woman. Her appearance was slightly inferior to this absolute beauty. Looking at Qing Liyun, she revealed an expression of disgust. Qing Liyun, why did you come with us? We sisters are out of train. Why are you blindly joining us? I'm just worried about you too. I heard that there are a lot of demon beasts here. What if Xiao Shi and Xiao Yu got hurt? Qing Liyun said with a gentle smile. There are demon beasts here. Open your eyes wide and see if there are any demon beasts here. Huh? Someone came here earlier than us? Xiao Yu was surprised when she saw Yi Tianyan. This place is listed as one of the 5 most dangerous places. She didn't expect that there would be someone who came here earlier than her. Qing Liyun looked towards Yi Tianyan's direction. He saw Yi Tianyan before, but he was too lazy to pay attention to him, because in his opinion, Yi Tianyan wasn't worth his time. Hey, you over there, when did you come here? Qing Liyun shouted at Yi Tianyan. Yi Tianyan didn't pay attention to him at all. He didn't even bother to look at him. Big brother Qing Liyun asked you a question. Why don't you answer? Are you mute? At this time, another person came down from the carriage. He was also wearing the clothes of Qing Xian Mansion. His cultivation level was also not bad. Both of them were at 7th level core condensation. Looking at their age, they are definitely the geniuses of the younger generation of Qing Xian Mansion. It must be said that the Qing Xian Mansion's capital was too great, otherwise it would not be able to stand firm in the heavenly boundary continent. Yi Tianyan stared at him coldly. It seemed like he wasn't the one who was attracting hatred, but the other. This kind of contemptuous gaze showed that he didn't put him in his eyes at all. Mister, it seems like you came here earlier than us. Did you see any beasts on your way here? Yu Shiqian walked over and asked in a friendly manner. She didn't look angry at all. There were demonic beasts, but I killed them all. Yi Tianyan said. Ha, you killed him? Xiao Jinren laughed. If you killed him, where is his corpse? There's nothing here, and you're telling me you were killed? Who are you trying to fool? Speaking of which, the words of the old man from the Star Pavilion are not very reliable. He said that there would be a lot of demonic beasts here, but now there is not a single one. He didn't believe Yi Tianyan's words. Yi Tianyan couldn't be bothered to explain. In any case, he had already said it. Believe it or not, it has nothing to do with me. After saying that, Yi Tianyan turned around and left. He didn't want to stay here any longer. He wanted to go to the center of the Devil Cloud Island to see if there was anything here. Since those demonic beasts were behaving strangely, there must be something here. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gathered here. As for the 2 people from the Qing Xian Mansion, Yi Tianyan wasn't in a hurry to kill them. He didn't know which sect was next to them. If the news of him killing a disciple from the Qing Xian Mansion were to spread, it wouldn't be a good thing. You! Xiao Jinren saw that Yi Tianyan was ignoring him. Just when he was about to stop him, Qing Liyun stopped him and said indifferently, Don't be impulsive, Xiao Shi and the others are here. It won't look good if you stain this place with blood. Fine, I'll spare his life. Xiao Jinren snorted coldly, but he still felt very unhappy. Xiao Shi, let's go around and see if there are other demonic beasts here. I heard that there are some strange phenomena here. Maybe there are some rare treasures here. Qing Liyun said with a gentle smile. Young Master Qing, please don't call me that intimately. Yu Shiqian said indifferently. After saying that, Yu Shiqian left first. Zhao Yu quickly followed behind her. Qing Liyun's eyes flashed with anger, but he suppressed it in his heart. He and Xiao Jinren looked at each other and quickly followed behind Yu Shiqian. Yi Tianyan was the first one to leave. After walking around in a circle, he didn't see anything. Instead, he saw the 4 people gathered in front of a stone tablet. Tianyin saw a stone tablet that looks like a hill. It's 10 feet high, and there are a lot of words engraved on it. Even if you are on the hill, you can see it clearly. You don't need to go closer to see it. Originally, the stone tablet was quite high, so he could see it very clearly. However, he still went down the hill and looked at it from a close distance. When he walked down, the 4 people looked at him. "It's you?" When Xiao Jinren saw Tianyun, his eyes flashed with anger. If Qing Luyun didn't stop him, he would have already grabbed Tianyun and beat him up. "What's the matter?" Tianyun looked at him indifferently. "I asked you a question just now, but you didn't answer," Xiao Jinren said angrily. "I have already answered all the questions. Whether you believe me or not is none of my business." Tianyun didn't have a good impression of Qing Xian Mansion. Plus, their attitude was very bad. He was even more dissatisfied. If it weren't for the fact that someone was here, he would have already slapped them to death. "Oh, so arrogant." Xiao Jinren was about to step forward, but was pulled back by Qing Luyun. "Don't worry about him. Let's observe the stone tablet first," Qing Luyun said to Xiao Jinren. Xiao Jinren suppressed his anger and turned around, no longer paying attention to Tianyun. Tianyun was also too lazy to pay attention to him. His eyes were fixed on the stone tablet. He wanted to see what was written on it. "Oh, you also want to see the stone tablet?" Xiao Jinren's mouth can't stop talking, and seeing Tianyun staring at the stone tablet, he is very unhappy. "Is there a problem?" Tianyun looked at him indifferently. "There is no problem. It's just that some things are dependent on talent," Xiao Jinren said in a sarcastic tone. "In that case, what did you comprehend from the stone tablet?" Tianyun said indifferently. "I didn't comprehend anything, but my big brother did." Xiao Jinren looked at Qing Luyun and signaled with his eyes. The two of them looked at Xiao Jinren, and their beautiful eyes were filled with surprise. They couldn't understand the stone tablet, let alone comprehend it. If Qing Luyun was able to comprehend it, then he would be a big genius. Although the content of the stone tablet is a bit obscure, I still managed to comprehend a little bit. For me, it's not a small benefit. Qing Luyun said stubbornly. With so many people watching, he naturally wouldn't say that he didn't comprehend anything. His expression was leisurely and contented. He was holding a fan in his hand, gently fanning himself. His eyes revealed a complacent smile. Now that the rain has stopped, the umbrella in his hand was replaced by a fan, making him look even more pretentious. Chapter 134. Tianyun gave him a meaningful look. "No wonder you are from Qing Xian Mansion. Pretending to know something you don't know is just to show off in front of the 2 girls. If it was any other force, he wouldn't care about it, but Profound Azure Mansion was different, and they were so arrogant." "Is that so? Can you tell us what is written on it?" Tianyun knocked on the stone tablet. There is not much engraved on it. It's just a row of words, but they can't understand it. It's like a crooked snake. How can they understand it? Are you an idiot? How can you tell us what you have comprehended? Can't you understand it? Qing Luyun said disdainfully. If you have the ability to comprehend it yourself, then tell us. Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu frowned. They felt that Tianyun was being rude. There were some things that could only be understood and not conveyed in words, but it wasn't that there were none. Even if he knew it, why would he say it? Tianyun looked at Qing Luyun as if he was looking at an idiot. He knocked on the tombstone and smiled. "I'm sorry, I know what is written on it. Not only do I know it, I can also tell you." Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu's eyes lit up. They didn't know whether Tianyun was telling the truth or not. Qing Luyun thought that Tianyun was just bluffing, so he sneered and said, "Well, if you have the guts, then tell me what you want to tell me." "Of course, it's not a problem. The words engraved on it are not the language we use. I believe everyone can see that. In fact, this tombstone is written in an ancient language. It's the language of the spirit race, so it's normal that you can't understand it. Let me tell you, the words engraved on it are very simple. It says Huan Qin's tomb. The name engraved on the bottom is Lei Yun." Tianyun looked at Qing Luyun with a surprised expression. He shook his head and said, "I say, friend, you were able to comprehend something just by looking at a tombstone. and you even benefited a lot from it. You are really talented. In any case, I can't see anything. Just consider me stupid. After all, it's just a tombstone. How can I see a heaven-tier martial art? He didn't make this up. He had seen this kind of text in Jade Palace. He felt that it was obscure and difficult to understand, so he specially studied it, so he didn't dare to say that he understood it, but at least most of it is not a problem. You're talking nonsense. Qing Liuyun's face turned red. Even if he died, he wouldn't accept Yi Tianyun's explanation. If he followed Yi Tianyun's explanation, then he really would be an idiot. If he could comprehend something just by looking at a tombstone, then that would be really strange. I'm talking nonsense? Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and said, if I'm spouting nonsense, you can slap me all you want. I won't fight back. Even if you think about it, if it's really precious, it would have been taken away a long time ago. Although this is a dangerous place, it doesn't mean that no one came here. Although the spirit race's language is strange, there are still some people who understand it. If you don't believe me, you can ask, do you really think you can see something from this tombstone? If you really can see it, then you are absolute geniuses. You can see something just by looking at a tombstone. You are really a genius. Yi Tianyun clapped his hands and said sarcastically. After his explanation, Yu Shiqian and Zhao Yu really felt that it was very credible. So Qing Luyun is really pretending? Good, very good. Qing Luyun said angrily. You are just playing tricks. Do you think anyone will believe you? I don't know if anyone will believe me or not. You guys take your time to comprehend it. I'll leave first. Yi Tianyun smiled faintly and said, comprehend a tombstone. Does it mean that you want to enter the coffin faster? After saying that, he couldn't be bothered to pay any more attention to him. He lifted his foot and walked forward. Qing Liuyun's face turned cold as he looked at Yi Tianyun's back. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Qing Liyun didn't say anything. He turned to Yu Shiqian and said, Xiao Shi, don't listen to his nonsense. This tombstone is not a tombstone. He wanted to say something else, but he didn't know what to say. It doesn't matter anymore. I will call someone from the spirit race to take a look at it later. Yu Shiqian said to Zhao Yu, Sister Zhao, let's go to other places. Strange, there are no demonic beasts here. Didn't they say that there are a lot of demonic beasts here? They didn't pay attention to Qing Luyun and Xiao Jianren. They just turned around and left. Qing Luyun looked at their departing figures and viciously crushed the fan in his hand before tossing it to the side with a cold glint in his eyes. Brother, I can't take it anymore. Xiao Jianren's eyes were filled with anger. His anger towards Yi Tianyun had reached its peak. Some people don't want to live long. They don't want to offend me. They will die. Qing Luyun said angrily. Go surround him. Let him know the consequences of provoking us. Tombstone, it seems like there is a graveyard in this area. I wonder where it is? Yi Tianyun said as he looked around the forest to see if there was anything special. But after a few steps, he stopped, looked at the front, and said indifferently, There is no need to hide in the front. Come out. It seems like you have some skill. Xiao Jianren said. Xiao Jianren walked out from the back and blocked Yi Tianyun's way. Both of them were furious. It seemed like their eyes were about to explode. What's the matter? Yi Tianyun looked at them. Of course there is. It is to let you know the consequences of provoking us. As soon as he finished speaking, Xiao Jianren stepped on the ground with a short sword in his hand and attacked Yi Tianyun. His legs instantly burst out a powerful force, causing the ground to slightly sink. Heavenly Tiger Stomp. Xiao Jianren turned into a huge heavenly tiger, grew a pair of wings, and pounced towards Yi Tianyun. His footsteps were light and heavy, leaving footprints of different depths on the ground. He sprinted like a ferocious tiger. His attacks were even more ferocious. Roar! Spiritual power burst out. A heavenly tiger appeared behind him and pounced towards Yi Tianyun. The short sword in his hand flickered with a cold light. His only goal was to take his life. Yi Tianyun didn't immediately counterattack. He just stood in the same place, not even in a defensive state. All of his attacks were instantaneous, making it difficult for the enemy to predict his moves. Go to hell for me! Xiao Jianren's face was ferocious. The short sword in his hand fiercely stabbed down. At this moment, Yi Tianyun was even faster. He grabbed Xiao Jinren's arm and heavily smashed him to the ground with lightning speed. Come down for me. Another shoulder throw, the violent force of the fall. Even a heavenly tiger can be suppressed by the violent force. Bang! Chapter 135. In the blink of an eye, Xiao Jinren was easily thrown to the ground by Yi Tianyun, creating a crater on the ground. Their cultivation is not low, but Yi Tianyun is more domineering. Crack! At the same time, Yi Tianyun twisted his arm fiercely and broke Xiao Jinren's arm. Xiao Jinren screamed in pain. Xiao Jinren was about to faint, but under the severe pain, Xiao Jinren couldn't stay conscious anymore. My arm! Aw! Xiao Jinren screamed and tried to break free from Yi Tianyun's grip, but Yi Tianyun kicked the short sword that fell to the ground and grabbed it. Like a galaxy falling down from the sky, Yi Tianyun grabbed the short sword and stabbed it into Xiao Jinren's chest, and finally, the short sword completely sank into the hilt. Clean and neat, no sloppiness, easily killed a person. Xiao Jinren's eyes widened. He could still move a little, but then he stopped breathing. Ding successfully killed Xiao Jinren, gained 68,000 EXP, 1,700 crazy point, transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, recovery pill. Obtain martial arts, transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, 1 recovery pill. What they dropped were still these martial arts. Although they were earth class, they had always been repetitive. Originally, they only knew these, so of course these were the only things that dropped. Unless there are some special cases, otherwise the martial arts that dropped are the ones that they cultivated. But earth-level martial arts is very good. It's either sell it or use it to fuse. It's not bad. Others are very eager to get their hands on earth-level martial arts, but Yi Tianyun has too many earth-level martial arts, so he feels that they are too low-level. Originally, these earth-level martial arts are not bad, the price is not bad, so he feels that it is a bit low-level. It would be good if it is a bit higher. It's your turn. Yi Tianyun quickly turned around and looked at Qing Luyun, who was about to attack him. Qing Luyun took a few steps back. The long sword in his hand trembled. This terrifying burst of power made Qing Luyun know that he kicked an iron plate. You killed my junior brother. Do you know who we are? Qing Luyun couldn't even speak properly. His eyes were filled with fear. He was no fool, and he could tell with a single glance that there was something wrong with Lin Fan's skillful killing technique. He had thought that Yi Tianyun was just a kid who was passing by. Even if his cultivation was not low, he did not expect him to be this powerful. Oh, you're starting to threaten me with your identity? Yi Tianyun said indifferently. It's meaningless to move to the Qing Xian mansion. I even dared to kill your Elder Wei and Inspector Ge. Do you think I won't dare to touch you? What? Elder Wei and Inspector Ge are dead. Qing Luyun's eyes widened in disbelief. They all knew about Elder Wei's cultivation. He was a spirit core cultivator, but he was still killed by Yi Tianyun. What was Yi Tianyun's real cultivation level? Judging from Qing Luyun's shocked expression, it was obvious that the news didn't reach him, and he was very satisfied with it. Yes, they wanted to control Jade Palace, so I killed them. Your mansion lord wants our palace lord to be his concubine? TSK, it's really shameless. Do you really think that Qing Xian mansion is invincible? Yi Tianyun sneered. I didn't have any intention to kill you, but since you made the first move, don't blame me for being ruthless. Jade Palace. You are from Jade Palace. This means that when you said that all the demonic beasts were killed by you, it wasn't a lie? Qing Luyun looked at him incredulously. He really can't imagine how Jade Palace can have such a strong cultivator. Yes, I told you the truth from the beginning, but you didn't believe me. Now you know, so you can die in peace. Boom! Yi Tianyun didn't talk nonsense with Qing Luyun anymore. He just sprinted towards Qing Luyun. He didn't use any technique. He just used his sturdy body to collide with Qing Luyun. His speed was too fast for Qing Luyun to react. He could only desperately brandish the long sword in his hand and thrust it toward Yi Tianyun, bursting out his strongest power, making a final struggle. Yi Tianyun didn't even look at Qing Luyun. He continued to rush forward, pushed the long sword aside, and at the same time hit Qing Luyun with his sturdy shoulder. At the moment of contact, Qing Liuyun's spiritual power immediately detonated. Bang! Qing Liyun was knocked out and stuck on the thick trunk. Qing Liyun let out a muffled groan as he slid down the thick tree trunk. His body had already caved in. How could they possibly withstand such a violent impact? I don't want to die. Qing Liyun's expression is full of horror. He really doesn't want to die. As a young generation, he is really afraid of death. You don't want to die? I don't want to kill people at will, but it's a pity that you provoked me and even wanted to kill me. Yi Tianyun's eyes are cold. He immediately kicked the long sword that fell on the ground and immediately turned into a cold light that penetrated Qing Liyun's heart. You! Qing Liyun's eyes widened. He shouted with some inarticulate words. Old ancestor will avenge us. Ding, successfully killed Qing Liyun. Gained 72,000 EXP. 1,800 crazy points. Obtain martial art transforming heaven palm, netherworld step, flowing cloud long sword, low-grade soul tool. Avenge? Yi Tianyun sneered. There is no need to wait for them to come for revenge. When my strength increases, I will personally visit them. Yi Tianyun quickly dealt with the two bodies. After emptying their things, he threw 2 balls of immortal fire and burned them to ashes. Destroying the corpses is easy. No one will find out about it. This was the result he wanted. He didn't want to alert the enemy. As long as his cultivation was high enough, profound azure mansion was nothing in front of him. It's almost done. Let's continue to look around. Yi Tianyun continued to walk around the hill to see if he can find anything strange. However, after walking for a while, they bumped into Yu Shiqian and the others again. They were stunned. Yu Shiqian nodded lightly. Young master, why are you still here? What's wrong? Is there a demonic beast here? Yi Tianyun smiled. Not really. You provoked Qing Liyun. They must be looking for you everywhere. If you continue to stay here, it's easy to get yourself killed. Yu Shiqian kindly reminded. Thank you for reminding me. I'll keep it in mind, but I am not in a hurry to leave. I plan to stay here for a while. Yi Tianyun smiled. It seems that Yu Shiqian is very kind. She knows how to remind a passerby like him. In that case, young master, please be careful. Yu Shiqian didn't say anything more. She just left with Zhao Yu. After they left, Yu Shiqian shook her head. Let's go. There is nothing to see here. That person didn't leave. I don't know which sect he is from, but he came here alone. Isn't he a little too bold? Zhao Yu said unhappily. How can he know the ancient language of the spirit race? Is what he said true? I think it's true. Yu Shiqian shook her head. Forget it. He has his own ideas. We can't change it. But if Qing Liyun finds him, he will be in danger. Yu Shiqian saw that Yi Tianyun saw through Qing Liyun's lies. So she warned him. Plus she hated Qing Liyun. So she warned him. Chapter 136. There must be some kind of treasure here. Maybe it's related to the spirit tribe. Otherwise, why would the beasts wander around here? Yi Tianyun frowned and continued to walk around the island, looking for every detail. Since there was a tombstone here, there must have been a great battle here, and someone died here. There might be a tomb here. Of course, it could also be a memorial, which was why there was a tombstone here. Holding on to some hope, he circled around the area, but he didn't find any entrance. It was just a forest. That's strange. I can't see anything. Is it not in this area? Yi Tianyun frowned. He was very disappointed. Didn't this mean that he had searched for nothing? However, he did not give up. After walking around again, he finally saw some small words on a few trees. They were carved in the language of the spirit tribe. The language of the spirit tribe is carved on these trees. Let me decipher it. After reading it again, he connected the words engraved on it and formed a sentence. The gate to heaven? Then he spoke in an incomprehensible voice. However, after he read it out, it was useless. Useless? Yi Tianyun looked at the trees. It was obvious that there was a formation here, something similar to a transportation formation. However, he could not activate it now. After studying it for a while, he finally found out that he could only activate the formation using the language of the spirit tribe. However, he had already tried it before, and it was useless. Do I have to use spiritual energy? Then Yi Tianyun tried it again. He read it again. But this time, he used his spiritual energy and merged it into the voice. When he read it, it was very magical. It was completely different from before. It was as if he was using his mother tongue. It was very spiritual. After he said it, the trees surrounding him lit up and enveloped him. In the next moment, he disappeared on the spot. However, nothing had changed here. It was as if nothing had happened. Tianyun felt his vision blur, and then he found himself in an empty cave. Looking up, he saw that the surroundings were inlaid with luminous pearls, illuminating the pitch-black tunnel. Just this alone was enough to prove that this place was definitely not simple. Every single night pearl was a priceless commodity. If one was dug out and sold, it could be exchanged for a lot of gold and silver. We're finally in. Etienne's eyes lit up. Sure enough, he needed to infuse his voice with spiritual energy to activate the array. Otherwise, no matter how he chanted, it would be useless. Thankfully, he understood a bit of the spirit race's language. Otherwise, he would have made a wasted trip. How magical! If it weren't for Annie's knowledge of the spirit tribe's language, I wouldn't have been able to enter. Tianyun shook his head. He didn't know how Shuiyin understood the spirit tribe's language so well. If it weren't for Shuiyin, he wouldn't have understood this language at all. At first, it was Shuiyin who taught him how to read it. Otherwise, he really wouldn't have understood it. I don't know what's in here. Is it really the tomb? He narrowed his eyes. According to the inscription on the tombstone, it was called Huan Qin's tomb. As for who this Huan Qin was, he wasn't very clear. In any case, he had to move forward carefully. When he first entered the Dragon God Shrine, he encountered some traps. If he was killed by the traps here, it would be a big loss for him. However, it turned out that he was overthinking. There were no traps along the way, and it was very smooth. As he continued to go deeper, it became hotter and hotter. A hot wind blew out from the inside, which looked very strange. But it didn't affect him at all. He was now at the Spirit Core stage, so ordinary heat was not a problem for him. When he completely walked out of the tunnel and stepped into the space in front of him, his eyes suddenly opened up. What greeted his eyes was a field of fire dragon stones, and the surroundings were filled with fire dragon stones. Layer after layer of heat waves were constantly released, enveloping the entire space. If an ordinary person were to enter, they would definitely be burnt to a crisp. This is a fire dragon stone. Etienne squinted his eyes and looked at it. This thing was generally found in some dangerous places. It looked like a red stone that vaguely looked like a dragon. It was coiled on the surrounding wall and looked very lifelike. Fire dragon stone contained a very strong fire attribute spiritual energy. It looked like a piece of red-hot iron. The price was relatively high, and it was used by cultivators who specialized in fire attribute cultivation. He didn't expect to find so many fire dragon stones here, which was amazing. Who is it? A sharp voice came from the front. Etianyun looked towards the direction of the sound and found that there was a sturdy cage in the center of the space. The cage was made of fire dragon stone. In this cage, there was a delicate young girl sitting in the middle of the cage, staring at him with eyes full of vigilance and anger. A living person? Etianyun was shocked. He didn't expect that there would be a living person here. He thought that this was a tomb and there was nothing inside. At most, there would be a corpse. It seems that he was wrong. The girl in front of him was at most 16 or 17 years old. She was very beautiful. Her silver hair fell down and sprinkled on the ground. Her frail body was trapped in this cage, and she looked very pitiful. Staring at him with her beautiful silver eyes, it was full of anger. There was no pitiful look in her eyes, only stubborn and arrogant eyes, which did not match her delicate body. Especially the aura that she exuded. It was not so simple. She was definitely a strong cultivator. From the aura that she exuded, Etianyun judged that her cultivation level was at least above core condensation. He estimated that she was trapped here, so her cultivation level seemed to be lower, so her real strength may be stronger. This can be sensed from the cold air that she exuded. With her as the center, a small area was frozen into a thick layer of ice, but it was quickly melted by the surrounding fire dragon stones. Overall, it seemed like she had been suppressed by the surrounding fire dragon stones. Furthermore, this cage made of fire dragon stones had suppressed her strength, causing her to only be able to move around in this small area. There was a tombstone outside, but there was a living person inside. This made him very surprised. According to the engravings on the outside, it should be called Huan Qin, or maybe not. In any case, it was a fact that there was a living person here, and she was not an ordinary person. From her appearance, it can be seen that she was somewhat different from ordinary people. There were a few divine runes on her face. He heard that spirit race would have this kind of divine runes on their body. Chapter 137. Judging from the tombstone outside, it should be a tomb, but in front of him was not a tomb. There was a living person. A living person was trapped here, and it was a spirit race. This was somewhat intriguing. You are not from the spirit race. After looking at him for a while, the girl was shocked. If he wanted to come here, he must be very familiar with the spirit race's language, otherwise he would not be able to come here. The greatest difference between the spirit race and the spirit race was their divine inscriptions. Their faces had faint traces of divine inscriptions, and on the forehead of this young girl, there were two faint divine inscriptions that formed a circle. They were the darlings of the divine rune world. They were too talented in drawing divine runes. If there was a comprehensive ranking of divine rune masters, 6 or 7 of the top 10 would definitely be occupied by the spirit race. This was the reason why they were so talented. Of course, I am not from the spirit race. I am just passing by. I wonder if you are the girl named Huan Qin? Tianyan looked at her up and down. It was definitely not easy to be imprisoned here. Who would have thought that there would be a girl imprisoned in such a dangerous place like Devil Cloud Island? How do you know my name? The girl was vigilant. She had already admitted that the name was hers. I saw it from the tombstone outside. It was engraved with the name Huan Qin. It was left behind by some thundercloud. I thought there was a dead person here. I didn't expect you to be imprisoned here. Tianyan shook his head. Thundercloud, it seems that if I don't tell you the secret, this place will be my grave. Huan Qin's eyes suddenly became extremely cold. Killing intent burst out from her eyes. She didn't look like a 16 or 17-year-old girl at all. Tianyan didn't intend to treat her as a girl. He was afraid that she was an old monster who was temporarily sealed here. Immediately, Huan Qin's eyes narrowed. She turned to look at Tianyan and said coldly, "How did you get in here? If you don't know the spirit race's language, it's impossible to come in. Is there someone hiding behind, or did Thundercloud bring you in?" "I don't know anything about this Thundercloud you're talking about. I just know a little bit of the spirit race's language, so I came here by accident." Tianyan shrugged his shoulders, looked at the cage, and shook his head. "Besides, why would I come in here? What information would I get from you? Do you think yourself an idiot? Or do you think I'm an idiot? Just because a stranger comes in and tries to get close to you, he can get secrets out of you? I thought there was some kind of treasure here, but it seems like I was thinking too much." Huan Qin was startled, but after thinking about it, she felt that it did make sense. "I'm thinking too much. Then can you help me get out?" Huan Qin hurriedly shouted, "I believe you are not sent by that person. As long as you save me, I will pay you enough. Not only did I give you an Earth-level martial art, but I also gave you quite a number of damn formulas. It will definitely make you a powerhouse." Huan Qin threw out a tempting reward for others. It was a good reward. "The reward is good. But little sister, why do you think I can open this cage?" Tianyan said indifferently. "Even if I take a step back, I don't know why you're imprisoned here. If you're a big devil, after I get you out, it won't be a good thing. So what if I have an Earth-level martial art? I'm afraid I won't be alive to learn it." Huan Qin didn't know what to say. She had already thrown out her reward. What else could she say? If I'm a big devil, there will be no good people in the world. Huan Qin's beautiful eyes were gloomy, full of sarcasm and sadness. Tianyan was silent for a while, then looked up at her and said, "The spirit race and I have a bit of fate. Saving you is not a problem. But first, you have to tell me why you're imprisoned here." Tianyan didn't think of himself as a good person, but he was definitely not a heinous bad person, so he would more or less help others. He didn't know why this Huan Qin girl was imprisoned, so he had to understand her. If she was a heinous devil, he would not save her. Huan Qin girl looked at him in silence for a while. not knowing where to start. After thinking for a while, Huan Qin girl said, "Well, if you're sent by Lei Yun, there's no harm in telling me. It's not a secret at all. The reason why I'm imprisoned here is very simple. They want to get the secret of the spirit race from me. Now they can't get the secret out of me, and they won't let me out because I'm the next holy maiden of the spirit race, so I won't be able to get the position. After being replaced by someone else, there will be a chance to regain the secret of the spirit race, so I'm just a waste now." Her eyes were full of anger and sadness. She was locked in this cage for the rest of her life. How could she not be sad? Yi Tianyin looked at her eyes, and from her expression, he could see that Huan Qin was not lying. Holy Maiden of the Spirit Race? This reminded him of Jiuling Yun. There was a new saintess training plan. Was it also from the Spirit Tribe? But he didn't see any trace of the Spirit Race on Jiuling Yun. Even the Spirit Race can't avoid the struggle for power. Yi Tianyin narrowed his eyes. The Spirit Race was already short of people, but they still wanted to fight for power. Wasn't it the same as destroying themselves? Humph! Do you think that the Spirit Race would do this? We have always lived in harmony. All of this is caused by Lei Yun, the dog of the Netherworld Empire. For your own selfish desires. You say it's for the good of the Spirit Race, but in fact, you're just competing for the position of Patriarch. You're completely blinded by power. Huan Qin's beautiful eyes were filled with anger. She couldn't wait to kill her fellow Spirit Race member named Lei Yun. The dog of the Netherworld Empire? Yi Tianyun's face sank. This was related to the 4th level forces, which had a lot of core transformation stage cultivators and even void spirit stage cultivators. The area under the control of an empire was really big. The Netherworld Empire will strongly support him to become the patriarch of the spirit race. But there is a corresponding condition. After he becomes the patriarch of the spirit race will become the vassal of the Netherworld Empire. Huan Qin said angrily, "Our spirit race has never been attached to other forces. We have always been independent. We have never been involved with the forces of the Netherworld Empire. The reason why the Netherworld Empire did this is to stabilize their position." No wonder. Yi Tianyin squinted his eyes. He finally knew the ins and outs of the matter. Ding! Activating the hidden line, save the holy maiden of the spirit race. The decision will affect the structure of the world. Please make a careful decision. Do you want to accept this hidden line? Affect the structure of the world? Yi Tianyin was startled for a second, then immediately smiled. Interesting. How can I not change the world? Accept. Chapter 138. This is the first time he encountered a task that could change the world. If he didn't encounter this task, he would still be able to change the world. But it doesn't have much impact on him. After all, the life and death of the spirit race has nothing to do with him. But now that he has saved them, the impact will be huge. If Huan Qin dies, it won't matter much. But if Huan Qin doesn't die and stabilizes the spirit race, then the relationship between Yi Tianyin and the spirit race will be completely different. After that, he will be able to get some support. But the randomness is too big. No one can predict the situation. I understand now. I believe you, Yi Tianyin said with a smile. Okay, I will help you break this cage now, Yi Tianyin said with a smile. Wait a minute. Huan Qin hurriedly stopped him. You have to break the seal outside and help me remove this cage. Then I will break it myself. What is the seal outside? Yi Tianyin asked. It's the monolith you saw. As long as you throw that monolith away, the seal's effect will be greatly reduced. Huan Qin said. Now it's a bit loose. Breaking it shouldn't be a problem. By the way, there are so many demon beasts outside. Is it because of you? Yi Tianyin asked. There are a lot of demon beasts outside. Huan Qin shook her head and said, That's not because of me. I am locked here, so I can't affect the situation outside. But I think you must have encountered a gathering of demon beasts. This Devil Cloud Island is very strange. Every once in a while, groups of demon beasts will gather together and then be struck to death by the lightning falling from the Devil Cloud Island. It feels like they are sacrificial offerings. Because of this, the Thunder Cloud imprisoned me here. With these demonic beasts as a cover, I don't think anyone will come up. There is such a situation? Tianyin was taken aback. This Devil Cloud Island is really strange. Every once in a while, they will gather together. So, every once in a while, they can come over to clean up a batch? After leveling up 3 times in a row, he had tasted the sweetness of this place. If he used the 20 times experience, it would definitely be amazing. We're not sure about that. Devil Cloud Island is very strange, and there are a lot of natural fire dragon stones here, which just happens to restrain me. Huan Qin laughed at herself. I was the one who discovered this place, but I didn't expect it to become my prison. Thinking of this, it was indeed a little ironic. Let's not talk about this sad thing. I'll save you. I'll help you break it now. Wait for my news. Tianyin smiled and walked out. Wait a minute. Huan Qin suddenly shouted. What? Tianyin turned around and looked at her with a smile. You're worried that I won't be able to return, so you don't want me to leave? So what if you run away? I can't do anything about it. Huan Qin took out a small bottle of pills and directly threw it into Tianyin's hand. These are some recovery pills. If you consume too much of your strength, take these pills. Also, there is the spirit race's language on it. As long as you read it and use your own strength, you will be able to lift it. Aren't you afraid that I'll run away with these pills? Tianyin smiled. I can feel that you're not that kind of person. Huan Qin said with a light smile. Interesting. Tianyin put away the pills, turned around, and disappeared into the passage. When he went out again, he quickly returned to the tombstone. There was no one here. Yu Shiqian had already left. There are very few cultivators in the Devil Sea Danger Zone, so he wasn't afraid of anyone here. This tombstone is a seal. It's really amazing. Tianyin came in front of the tombstone, reached out his hand and grabbed the tombstone, then fiercely lifted it up. He used most of his strength, but he couldn't lift it even a little bit. As expected, it can't be carried. I need to use the language of the spirit tribe to break this seal. He had already used most of his strength. If it was a level 1 spirit core stage cultivator, he would be able to kill them with one punch, but he didn't expect that he couldn't lift a tombstone. Immediately, he took out the spirit race's language given by Huan Qin and nodded his head. The general meaning was Divine Seal of Annihilation. Very good. Then let's start. The next moment, he began to use his strength and began to crazily lift the tombstone. Divine Seal of Annihilation. As he chanted, he lifted the stone tablet and exerted all his strength to lift it up. With a rumbling sound, the stone tablet was slowly lifted up, but the seal actually began to slowly restore itself. It was truly terrifying. Divine Seal of Annihilation. Tianyin said it again. The seal slightly loosened, but he continued to lift it. Overall, it's still not enough. I don't believe it. Go up. Tianyin roared. The veins on his arms were bulging. The dragon god bloodline burst out, and the power suddenly burst out. Boom! The stone tablet was pushed to the side by him and fell to the ground. The heavy stone tablet caused the soil beside it to sink in, but the seal had undoubtedly been opened. A burst of light emerged from the mountain and then disappeared. This thing is really difficult to break. I didn't expect a spirit core stage cultivator to have such difficulty lifting a tombstone. The spirit race's heritage is really terrifying. Tianyin's eyes narrowed. He had seen the effect of this spirit rune. If he didn't have a way to break it, with his current cultivation, he really couldn't break this seal. If such a seal was placed on an ancient site, it would truly be indestructible. Anyone who came would be able to resist it. This is the same as the heavens immersing ancient ruins. If he could restore the formation, it would definitely be very effective, but his current level is still too low. It seems that I have to find some time to cultivate the divine rune mastery. Once I improve it, it will be easier to repair the heavens immersing ancient ruins. Tianyin made up his mind. After everything is over, he will cultivate the divine rune mastery. In this world, the status of a divine rune master is quite high, and there are many uses for it. Okay, I can go back. Tianyin turned around and went back to the mountain. He circled around and returned to the space inside the mountain from the side. When Huan Qin saw Tianyin came back, her eyes were filled with gratitude. She immediately whispered, "Thank you. There is no need to thank me. If you could come out of there quickly, it is the best way to thank me. At least I didn't waste my effort. Tianyun didn't consume too much energy, so he's fine. Chapter 139. Without saying too much nonsense, Huan Qin continued to destroy the cage. The power of the extreme cold constantly impacted the cage, trying to freeze the cage of the fire dragonstone, and then break the cage to get out. However, this ice clearly wasn't powerful enough. No matter how hard it tried to attack the stone pillars, it was quickly suppressed by the surrounding fire dragonstones, forcing the cold air back. At this time, Huan Qin's face was pale. Obviously, she had consumed too much energy, but she gritted her teeth, trying to break the cage. This is her only hope. Not enough power. When Tianyun stood up and walked into the cage, a wave of heat hit him and drilled into his body through his pores. In an instant, he felt a scorching energy rumbling within his body. However, he was completely fine. The stone pillar has been opened. How come the power is still so terrifying? Tianyun frowned. Now that he walked in, he felt that the flame inside was even more terrifying. No wonder Huan Qin couldn't destroy this cage. The suppression around her is enough to make her suffer, and she can still hold on for so long. At this time, Huan Qin finally couldn't stand it anymore. She loosened her hands and sat on the ground. Her face was pale. Still can't break the cage? Tianyun was worried. It's still useless. I tried several times. Although the seal was lifted, my power was suppressed too much. I can't break the cage at all. Give up. Thank you. Huan Qin raised her pale face and looked at Tianyun. She was so helpless, so desperate. It touched his heart. This cage can be broken with external force, right? Tianyun asked. Yes, but it's not so easy to break from the outside. The external force is stronger. Are you? Yes, I will help you break the cage. Tianyun's eyes flashed. He twisted his wrist and smiled. I didn't want to do it. It's too much energy. I can't waste it. What? Huan Qin was confused. She didn't know what Tianyun meant. Don't worry, just watch. Dragon God technique. Tianyun let out a low roar, followed by the roar of a dragon. Thick dragon scales appeared on the surface of his body, and his strength increased exponentially. This time, the effect of the surrounding flame power on him was even weaker. Huan Qin was stunned. She didn't expect that Tianyun could transform. It was unknown just how much divine beast blood essence it had absorbed in order to manifest this power. Absorbing Star's great technique. Tianyun grabbed the cage and started to absorb it madly. This fire dragon stone was essentially an energy stone. Naturally, it could absorb energy. As a steady stream of energy entered his body, his experience bar shot up. 4,000 EXP, 16,000 EXP, 17,000 EXP, 15,000 EXP. Under the crazy EXP mode, the EXP suddenly exploded, and there was no pressure to absorb it. Originally, the Absorbing Star's great technique and the Dark North Divine Art were both divine arts that could absorb energy. Naturally, there was no pressure on these fire dragon stones. As he madly absorbed the energy, the two cages made of fire dragon stones in his hands began to dim. After absorbing the energy, it will naturally become dry. But it didn't last long. The surrounding fire dragon stones flickered, and energy continuously poured in to replenish the energy of these fire dragon stones. But no matter how much energy came, Tianyun absorbed it all. You want to absorb all the energy in these fire dragon stones? Huan Qin was shocked. Yes, you guessed right. Tianyun smiled lightly. This is the result he wanted. He came here for experience. He killed so many demon beasts, but he still couldn't reach the level he wanted. But this fire dragon stone is different. There are so many fire dragon stones. How much can he improve his cultivation? Can you absorb it all? Your body will explode. Huan Qin was worried. Cultivators have a limit to their absorption. She has never seen such an endless absorption. Don't worry, you just watch from the side. Leave everything to me. Tianyun smiled and continued to absorb. Huan Qin looked at Tianyun's confident expression. She didn't say anything. Let's see the situation first. Maybe it will really work. Activate 10 times EXP card. Activate 5 times EXP card. Coupled with the 4 times crazy mode. That's 19 times EXP. He didn't want to use the 20 times EXP card. The price in the shop is as high as 300,000 crazy point, so he didn't want to use it for the time being. After buying 2 EXP cards, Etienne's EXP suddenly exploded. On the basis of 4,000 EXP, it suddenly exploded by 19 times. More than 76,000 EXP. 76,000 EXP gained. 78,000 EXP gained. 75,000 EXP gained. Because of the different absorption, the fluctuation is relatively large, but it's still above 75,000. The EXP is definitely increasing by leaps and bounds. The absorption speed didn't speed up, but the increase in EXP is enough. Cool. It's really cool. I can also increase the proficiency of both. If I can upgrade it to high-grade Earth-level martial arts, the effect will be even more different. Etienne wants to upgrade his martial arts, but 300,000 EXP is not that easy to increase. So far, he only has 100,000 EXP. There is still a long way to go, unless he uses all his crazy point to buy Earth-level martial arts, but it's obviously not cost-effective. But this is good compared to killing monsters outside. The EXP is not much less. Maintaining this state and absorbing for almost an hour, a pleasant sound came. Ding! Congratulations to player Etienne. Successfully broke through to 4th level Spirit Core. Very good, continue to absorb. Etienne continued to absorb. The Fire Dragon Stone gradually dimmed. This speed is still quite fast. If this continues, there should be no problem for him to level up. Huan Qin looked at Etienne absorbing for a long time. Her eyes widened. It's already hot enough here, but he can still absorb for such a long time. It's enough to see that Etienne's level is not low. But in her heart, she was touched. She didn't promise any reward, but this strange man in front of her is willing to risk his life for her. It's impossible not to be touched. Chapter 140. Etienne continued to absorb crazily. The EXP kept pouring into his body. He couldn't stop. Huan Qin's light blue eyes stared at Etienne. She wanted to see how he was doing. She was worried about Etienne. Not that she couldn't get out, but if the person who helped her died, she would feel guilty. Are you sure you're okay? You could take a break. Huan Qin was worried. I'm really okay. You just stay here. I'll help you break this cage. Etienne smiled. No kidding. This is not a problem for him. He can't wait to keep absorbing EXP. But as time goes by, the cage seems to be getting more and more fragile. If he continues like this, he will be completely sucked dry in a while. 75,000 EXP, 16,000 EXP, 17,000 EXP. His EXP suddenly dropped, which means that the 10x EXP card and 5x EXP card are gone. This time he didn't continue to buy them. It's not cost-effective to buy them again. So far, the 10x EXP card has reached 200k crazy point. The 5x EXP card also reached 100k crazy point. It's undoubtedly not cost-effective. It seems that I can only maintain crazy mode. Etienne shook his head. Even if he maintained crazy mode, the consumption is still a lot. Every minute consumes 100 crazy point. Of course, it's a little bit for him now, but if he maintained it for a day, it will consume a lot of crazy point. But compared to the experience gained, it's a good deal. Without the superposition of the EXP card, the increase of EXP is undoubtedly a lot less, and leveling up is a lot more difficult. Now, he can only do this. He doesn't want to eat the 20x EXP card. He can only absorb the EXP like this. The EXP is decreasing, but the speed of absorption is not slow. The cage is gradually on the verge of collapse, and he is like a bottomless pit, continue to absorb the energy. Quick, it's almost broken. Huan Qin was excited. If this continues, she will definitely break it, and Etienne's situation is still so calm. Nothing happened. The corner of Etienne's mouth curled up. This was not difficult at all for him. It was simply too easy. I told you it's not a problem for me at all. Boom! At this moment, a bolt of divine lightning quickly condensed in the sky and struck down fiercely at Etienne. Its speed was extremely fast, and it enveloped him in an instant. In the next moment, he was sent flying and crashed into the wall. He let out a muffled groan. and a trail of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. He was slightly injured. Is this lightning? Etienne felt as though he was about to be cleaved in half. If it weren't for his astonishing physique and his terrifying armor, he would have been cleaved to death. Now his whole body was numb. It was too terrifying. He felt that even a spirit core stage cultivator would be easily killed. Sure enough, this cage wasn't as easy to destroy as he had imagined. He still had a backup plan. This is the heavenly lightning array. He engraved his own heavenly lightning array. Huan Qin said in horror. Don't come any closer. Quickly go. He used the lightning of this Devil Cloud Island as the last line of defense. As long as you continue to approach here, you will be killed. Etienne stood up, wiped the blood off his lips, and sneered. Do you think I will give up so easily? It's just a bolt of lightning. I don't believe I can't break it. He wasn't someone who would give up so easily. He immediately burst forth with the power of his dragon god bloodline and charged forward. Boom! A terrifying lightning fell down, but Etienne raised his hand and used Absorbing Star's great technique. As long as it is energy, he can absorb it. 16,000 EXP. 15,000 EXP. Etienne was sent flying again. His body was scorched black. His absorption speed is still too slow. The power of the lightning is too strong. No matter how many lightning bolts condensed over the Devil Cloud Island, he couldn't absorb it. Unless his cultivation technique is further improved, his absorption speed is far less than the energy of the attack. Go, don't try anymore. This heavenly lightning array is gradually activated. If you continue like this, you will definitely die. Huan Qin begged, I know what you want, please go. I beg you, please go. Her eyes were red. She was eager to go out, but she didn't want Etienne to die in front of her. Although they haven't known each other for long, she felt that Etienne is sincere in saving her, so she won't let Etienne die so easily. Don't worry, do you think this is all I have? Etienne's eyes flashed. This is indeed very tricky. Looking at the lightning gradually gathering on the ground. If this continues, the lightning will become even more terrifying. At that time, even with his current cultivation, he won't be able to withstand it, which is enough to show how terrifying this array is. The next moment, he took out his shadow cloak. 5 seconds of invincibility. Immediately, he rushed towards Huan Qin again. At the same time, he saw Huan Qin's sad eyes. She shook her head at him, signaling him not to continue to be brave. This made his heart even more determined. If it was a selfish person, they would save him no matter what. But Huan Qin is different. She really doesn't want him to die for her. Kaboom! Heavenly lightning struck again, but this time he activated his shadow cloak. Boom! When the lightning hit his body, it suddenly disappeared. It had no effect. He was completely immune to it. Soon he came in front of the cage and grabbed it with both hands. Roar! A dragon roar came out of his mouth. He grabbed the stone pillar tightly and threw it forward. Only to hear a kacha sound coming from the stone pillar. A slight crack appeared on it, but the effect was very limited. But he didn't give up. He quickly stood up, grabbed the 2 stone pillars with both hands, and tried to pull them apart. Violent power burst out from his hands. The blue veins on his arms bulged. The dragon scales on his arms were bulging. It looked very scary. Under this crazy power, the stone pillar continued to make a crack sound. Pieces of the stone pillar fell from it. Crazy damage mode. Activate. Etienne roared. He wanted to forcibly tear the already fragile cage. But at this time, an unknown evil fire came from the stone pillar and drilled into his body through his arms. But soon his shadow cloak was immune to it. He is completely invincible. This is the evil fire that was placed in here. Etienne immediately knew what this evil fire was. Obviously, the person who placed this cage still has some tricks up his sleeves. As long as he continues to forcibly destroy the cage, then the evil fire will come and drill into his body. This evil fire is very powerful. It is constantly destroying the inside of the cage. Chapter 141. Etienne felt the evil fire. Fortunately, he had the shadow cloak, otherwise he would have been burned by it. But the fire continued to surge. it seems that it won't stop for a while. Let go! Huan Qin screamed when she saw the evil fire. This is the evil fire of the fire dragon stone buried inside. It will melt you. Yi Tianyun gritted his teeth, but the determination in his eyes didn't diminish. He didn't have much time left, but he didn't say a word. 5 seconds is quite short. If it weren't for their high cultivation, every second would be a long time. Opens! Yi Tianyun roared. His arms continued to struggle to break the stone pillar. A little crack appeared on it, but at the same time, more and more evil fire drilled into the pillar. The shadow cloak was immune to it. But time is always limited. He tried to break the pillar a few times, but he still couldn't break it. 5 seconds had already passed. When the effect of the shadow cloak disappeared, the evil fire immediately rushed up, drilled into his body, and began to madly burn his body. A burning sensation came from inside his body, making him feel a little pain, but it was bearable. With his strong physique, it's not a problem for him to withstand the fire, but if this continues, he will be seriously injured. If this continues, even if you have a strong physique, you will still die. Huan Qin looked at Yi Tianyun and couldn't help but shout. She didn't want to see Yi Tianyun die, not because she wanted to get out, but because she was really worried that Yi Tianyun would die. I won't die before I save you. Believe me. Yi Tianyun looked at her, revealing a faint smile. His tone was firm. You. Huan Qin's eyes were filled with tears. She clenched her teeth. She really wanted to help, but with the activation of the Heavenly Thunder Formation, she was imprisoned inside, unable to move. Otherwise, she would have helped him a long time ago, instead of sitting in the cage and watching Yi Tianyun cry. In the next moment, Yi Tianyun's eyes shone with a divine light. The power in his body exploded to its peak. Opens. With a furious roar, Yi Tianyun's strength abruptly increased by several times. His arms also grew a little larger, and he used all his strength to pry open the door. Boom! Accompanied by the sound of collapse, the 2 stone pillars were completely smashed. The stone pillar finally collapsed under Yi Tianyun's efforts. Suddenly, a big gap appeared in the cage, and Huan Qin could easily walk out of it. However, with the collapse of the stone pillars, the formation lost its effectiveness. Without the foundation to maintain the formation disappeared. At this moment, his body loosened, and he felt an incomparable pain in his body. His body could not help but fall backward. When the evil fire invaded his body, the damage it caused to him was extremely serious. Even he did not expect it to cause so much damage. The evil fire, which was already extremely violent, became even more savage. It crazily burrowed into his limbs, incessantly burning his body. He could smell a burning smell. His internal organs had been roasted. When he was about to fall to the ground, he fell into a soft embrace. He struggled to open his eyes, and what he saw was Huan Qin's red eyes. She kept opening her mouth to say something, but he could not hear it. He just felt that his consciousness gradually became blurred. No matter how hard he tried, he could not continue to open his eyes. This time, the evil fire caused a lot of damage to him. He felt that with his peak of spirit core stage cultivation, he would be seriously injured under such an attack. But he was not worried. He could only continue to resist the evil fire in his body, trying to suppress it. The injury was serious, but it was not particularly fatal. His amazing physique was not a decoration. But not long after, he only felt a chill quickly coming from the surface of his body, quickly extinguishing the evil fire in his body, making him feel a little better. He didn't know how much time had passed, but he felt that the pain in his body had basically disappeared, followed by a cool feeling. He had never felt so comfortable before. He slowly opened his eyes. Then what came into view was Huan Qin, who was crying red and swollen, hugging him tightly, not willing to let go. Yi Tianyun noticed that the divine rune on Huan Qin's forehead was missing. The missing rune was engraved on his chest, exuding a cool power. He knew that this was the power of Huan Qin. She transferred the divine rune on her forehead to his body. He didn't know what side effects this would bring, but he knew that it was not a small price to pay. Transferring the divine rune on the body will not only reduce his lifespan, but also his cultivation. In fact, there was no pressure to cultivate these 2 points. The most important thing was that the talent was transferred to him. It can be said that each of them had half of the talent. At least Huan Qin's talent was greatly reduced, but she could still use it. The biggest reason for Huan Qin to do this was to use her talent to heal him in the best way and save him. After all, she has the ice attribute, so she can quickly dispel the evil fire. When Tianyan knew about this, he was very touched. He didn't expect Huan Qin to do this for him. It seems that he was not wrong about her. Ding successfully obtained the Heavenly Eye talent. At this time, the system sounded, proving that he got the talent. You transferred the divine rune to me. Isn't this nonsense? Tianyan shook his head and sat up. His internal injuries have already recovered. He thought that it would take a long time to recover, but under the treatment of Huan Qin, he quickly recovered. I never owe anyone anything, as long as you are fine. Huan Qin wiped her tears with the back of her hand and smiled. She didn't care about her loss at all. In fact, I can recover. You must have a great impact on yourself by doing this, right? Tianyan asked. This is nothing. I already said, whether it is others or my own people. I don't want to owe anything. Huan Qin smiled and said, since you are willing to save me, then I will give you this gift. But this gift is really a bit expensive. Tianyan smiled. The previous sad atmosphere disappeared. But there are really a lot of big formations here, one after another. I didn't expect to be trapped in the end. Yes, I didn't expect that Lei Yun has 2 big formations. Even if the seal outside is destroyed, it can't easily destroy this cage. Huan Qin's face was gloomy. It seems that he is really cruel to me, very worried that I will escape. That's for sure. Let's get out of here now. We can't stay here for long. Tianyan stood up. He was worried that Lei Yun will send people to chase after him. So it's better to leave as soon as possible. Huan Qin nodded and quickly evacuated with Tianyan. But when they were about to leave, Tianyan stopped. Wait a minute. Then Tianyan, under Huan Qin's puzzled look, he took off the night luminescent pearl inlaid on the wall and tossed it in his hand. This thing is priceless. It's a pity to leave it here. I just need money to buy pills. Chapter 142. After they left, they quickly hid on the side. Let's get out of here as soon as possible. Otherwise, if Lei Yun notices something, it will be very troublesome. Tianyan said. Huan Qin nodded and looked around. There is no boat here. It seems like we have to do it ourselves. Don't worry about that. There should be a giant eagle waiting for us. He brought Huan Qin to the shore and saw a feather carriage parked there. It was Qing Yuyun's feather carriage. It was now parked on the shore. Since they were already dead, Yu Shiqin wouldn't take the carriage away, so she left it here. I didn't expect there to be a carriage here. Can we drive it away? Huan Qin was surprised. Yes, one of them didn't like me, so I killed him. Tianyan said with a smile. I don't know who it was. Provoking you is simply courting death. Huan Qin roughly knew how strong Tianyan was. He was a spirit core cultivator. Reaching this level at such a young age was enough to show how talented he was. Then let's leave this damn place together. I can't stay here any longer. Yes, but it's time to say goodbye. I don't think we're going in the same direction. I want to go back to the nearby Tianjin city. Tianyan said. But you don't have a carriage. You have to take a boat. The next moment, a black dragon was summoned by him, giving her a huge fright. Do you think I still need a carriage? Tianyan laughed. I'm very curious. What is your background? How can you have a divine beast as a mount? She was indeed an experienced and knowledgeable saintess. Huan Qin was only a little surprised, but she quickly recovered. This was not surprising for her. She had been in contact with a 4th-grade force, and even her spirit clan had a divine beast. No, I am just an elder of a small force. I am just lucky. Tianyan didn't hide anything. This black dragon is not something to hide, but as a trump card, people will definitely know about it in the future. Moreover, they weren't enemies, so there wouldn't be any problems. A small force? Huan Qin smiled and said, It seems that your luck is too good. You must have obtained some kind of inheritance. You can say that. Tianyan thought about it. There was nothing wrong with that. The system could be considered a legacy. You saved me. I haven't paid you yet. When Huan Qin was about to continue, Yi Tianyun shook his head and interrupted her. That's enough. You've already transferred the divine imprint to me. This is already the greatest reward you can offer me. Everything else can't be compared to this. Yi Tianyun placed his hand on his chest as he smiled. No, more importantly, I need you to help me keep it. Huan Qin smiled indifferently and stretched out her finger. There was a faint golden light on it. Then she pointed at Yi Tianyun's chest. This is my gift to you. Make good use of it, but don't show it easily. Otherwise, you will be killed. Yi Tianyun had already checked what the memory was. After knowing what it was, his heart was immediately shocked. What Huan Qin gave him was not a martial art, but a divine imprint engraving method. It can be said that it included many high-level divine imprints, some of which were secret techniques of the spirit clan. Although he was proficient in divine imprint, it didn't mean that he knew all kinds of divine imprints. Only by obtaining more divine imprints, he could engrave more. Divine imprint mastery was just a foundation. The higher the level, the more complex divine imprints he could engrave. Not only divine imprint mastery, but also other weapons. Spirit tools and the like are actually very similar. Weapons of the same level, but some forging recipes are different. The effect is completely different. What he lacks now is the recipe, but it can still be used. The point is that Huan Qin taught him this. If the people of the Spirit Clan knew about this, Huan Qin will definitely be expelled. The secret technique of the Spirit Clan was taught to an outsider. How could she not be expelled from the Spirit Clan? Why did you teach me all this? Yi Tianyun's eyes were full of complex emotions. He was touched. He did save Huan Qin, but not only did she teach him the divine imprint, but she also taught him the secret technique of the Spirit Clan. Didn't I just say that you will keep it for me? This is for myself, and also for the sake of the Spirit Clan. Huan Qin smiled and said, when I go back, I don't know whether I will live or die. If I can't resist the power of Lei Yun, then the Spirit Clan may be controlled by the Netherworld Empire. In that case, I might as well give you this secret technique. If the Spirit Clan is destroyed, at least we can keep this secret technique. Yi Tianyun's heart was shaken. Although she said that, she didn't have to give it to him. She could just give it to a Spirit Clan member and then hide it. Why would she give it to an outsider? This should be what Lei Yun wants. Why do you trust me so much? Yi Tianyun's eyes were full of complex emotions. In truth, only the next holy maiden could obtain this secret art. It was impossible for any other elder to obtain it. But now it was passed on to him, an outsider. If Lei Yun knew about this, he would definitely go crazy. I don't know why. Maybe it's your determination to save me that made me trust you completely. Huan Qin smiled. Her silver eyes were full of complex light. Maybe you were the first person to treat me like this. Yi Tianyun seemed to know her story from her eyes. He wanted to say something to comfort her, but he didn't know what to say. Actually, I'm going to help you. Yi Tianyun couldn't help but blurt out. He could only say that. He knew that Huan Qin will face a great crisis when she goes back. She will have to face the traitors in the clan. I appreciate your kindness, but I can see that you still have important things to do. Especially when you were unconscious, you kept calling me aunt. And to be honest, your cultivation level is a bit low. Huan Qin suddenly smiled, reached out her hand, and gently touched his forehead. Stay here if you really want to help me, then make good use of the memory I gave you and cultivate to a stronger realm. If you can find me, then you can help me. My cultivation level is low? Yi Tianyun was a little surprised. Yes, Spirit Core stage is not bad, but I need to face Core Transformation stage cultivators, or even Void Spirit stage cultivators. Spirit Core stage cultivators are not worth mentioning. My cultivation level was at the late stage of Core Transformation stage, but now that I am sealed, my cultivation level has dropped to Core Condensation stage. How much help do you think you can make? Huan Qin smiled and said, but you are very young. Give me more time, and you will become stronger. Sooner or later, you will be stronger than many people and stand at the peak. Chapter 143. Standing at the peak. That's a good idea. It's quite in line with my current thinking. Yi Tianyun smiled. If he wanted to protect his family, the best way was to become stronger than everyone else. Bah! I said you're fat, and you're still talking to me. Huan Qin smiled and said, "By the way, I still don't know your name?" Tianyun. He didn't hide his name. He took off his mask and revealed his real face. "This is my real face. Everything before was just an illusion." When Huan Qin saw Tianyun's real face, she was shocked. You're so young?" In front of her was the face of a 17 or 18-year-old man, which was too young. When Tianyun changed his face, he was at least 24 or 25 years old. Reaching Spirit Core stage at this age was already very scary. But now that he revealed his face, it was even more shocking. Immediately, she grabbed Tianyun's face and started rubbing it. She wanted to see if she could pull off a layer of skin, but no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't pull off a layer of skin. "Have you touched enough?" Tianyun said helplessly. "It's really this face." Huan Qin was shocked. "It's incredible that you reached Spirit Core stage at such a young age. Are you a genius from the Divine Nation?" "I told you, I'm just an elder of a small force, not a genius from a big force," Tianyun said helplessly. "To be able to cultivate to such a high level, you must be a genius." Huan Qin shook her head. "If this didn't happen in the Spirit Clan, I would have kidnapped you and made you a member of the Spirit Clan." "You're exaggerating." Tianyun suddenly laughed. This Huan Qin was really overbearing. "It's not an exaggeration. To have such a cultivation base at such a young age, his future must be amazing." Huan Qin smiled. "I'm looking forward to your performance in the future. I hope we'll meet again someday." "That's right, Huan Qin is my name in the Spirit Clan. My real name is Yi Qingxian." Then she got on the carriage and flew into the sky. "You must survive. When the time comes, I will find you," Tianyun shouted. "If you can find me and I'm still alive, I'll marry you." Yi Qingxian smiled and turned to look at him. "Finally," she shouted, "but before that, you also have to survive. You must keep a low profile, or you will be killed." Then, her carriage of feathers disappeared from sight just like that. Complete Save Spirit Race Sanus Quest. Complete reward 200. 000 EXP 10. 000 Crazy Point 100 Huan Qin Favorability. At this time, the quest notification popped up. If he wanted to trigger the quest, he would have to leave with her. But he has something important to do now, so he can't leave with her. Qingxian Mansion is his main goal now. Then, he checked the current situation, and all the information popped up. Level 34, 4th level Spirit Core. EXP 818538 Crazy Point Prestige. 430 Crazy Point Sin Point. 231 Crazy Points Cultivation Technique. Dark North Divine Art. Dragon God Secret Art. Xiantian Divine Art Martial Arts. Absorbing Stars Great Technique. Blood Fiend Soaring Sky. Transforming Heaven Palm X2. Netherworld Step X2 Weapon. Frost Fist. Blood Fiend Divine Spear. Endless Sword. Chaotic Heaven Sacred Axe. Flowing Cloud Long Sword Armor. Divine Armor. Shadow Cloak. Chaotic Heaven Divine Armor. Chaotic Heaven Battle Boots Divine Ability. Crazy Mode. Luck Aura Bloodline. Dragon God Bloodline Talent. Heavenly Eye Decoration. Forging God Hammer. Power Bracelet. Power Ring. Power Belt. Blood Fiend Bracelet. All items. 10 Recovery Medicinal Pill. Gift Pack LV41. Life X1. Bad Luck Divine Pill. Blast Divine Pill. 20 times EXP card. 3 times Crazy Point card. 4 times Proficiency card. Walrus Skin X8. Octopus Tentacle X6. Sea Cow Horn X8. Night Pearl X6. Etc. Treasure. Purple Fire Divine Furnace Title. Guardian Savior Flame. Immortal Fire. More than 800,000. 000 Crazy Point. I still need 200,000. 000 to upgrade Crazy Mode. Tianyun's eyes lit up. He killed a lot of demon beasts in Crazy Mode and got a lot of Crazy Point. Now he can use it to upgrade Dragon God Bloodline or Appraisal Eye. He only needs 500,000 Crazy Point to upgrade them. But he doesn't want to upgrade these two. Crazy Mode is the most important. According to this calculation, the next level will be 8 times EXP card. This means that he can get 8 times EXP card every time, which is almost equivalent to 10 times EXP card. How can he not be happy? Let's clean them up and sell them all. Tianyun sold Netherworld Step and other things. It doesn't make much sense for him to keep them. He doesn't want these things, so he will clean them up and exchange them for crazy point. His current goal is simple. He just needs to accumulate 200,000 crazy points. Immediately after he cleaned them up, a number appeared on the crazy point bar. 870,000 crazy point. After clearing everything, he still needed 130,000 crazy points to level up. The price of Night Pearl is not bad. This thing can sell for 5,000 crazy point. Etienne smiled and immediately left on the Black Dragon. He planned to return to Heavenly New City to submit the quest. In the cage, there is still a little fire dragon stone that can be absorbed, but he doesn't plan to stay there to absorb it. If Lei Yun sends someone to come here and meet him, he will be in trouble. He doesn't want to suffer that much trouble now. Not long after he left, a sharp light flew from a distance and landed on the top of the mountain. Boom! A huge pit was smashed on the top of the mountain, and a strong man walked out of the pit, carrying a giant sword in his hand, his eyes cold. He was 2.5 meters tall, and when he walked, he was like a mountain, leaving a footprint with each step. Soon he came to the place where the spirit race language was before, whispered a few words, and disappeared from the area. Not long after, he appeared again, his face gloomy. How is this possible? The double formation arranged by Lord Lei Yun was broken. Could it be that the elder of the spirit race came in person? It seems that I have to go back quickly and report to Lord Lei Yun. Immediately, he threw the long sword in his hand. A huge sword light rose into the sky, 12 meters high, and then fiercely chopped down. With a bang, the whole mountain was blown up, and the terrifying power swept the surrounding area. What was left was a deep pit. Nothing else was left. Immediately, he jumped up and stepped on the long sword. A dense divine rune flickered on the giant sword, and immediately turned into a light and disappeared into the sky. This speed is too fast. Chapter 144. Etienne rode on the Black Dragon and soon returned to Sky New City. Then he went straight to Star Pavilion. Before that, he must have put on the 100 transformation mask again to hide his face, so that no one would know his true appearance. When he returned to Star Pavilion, as soon as he entered, he signaled the receptionist to take him to Deacon Huang. When Deacon Huang saw him, he was surprised. Then he smiled and said, "What's wrong? Is there anything else you need to prepare?" He thought that Etienne hadn't set off yet. It had only been a few days, less than a week. "No, I'm almost done. I've hunted a lot of monsters. I'll sell them to you now." Etienne smiled and said, "Correspondingly, I only need the materials. As for the price, it's up to you." "What? You've hunted them? So fast?" Deacon Huang was stunned. It would take more than half a month to go back and forth by boat. Unless he rode on a giant eagle, it would be impossible to return so fast. "Yes, you can count them." Etienne took off the storage ring and put it on the table. He smiled and said, "It's all in here. You can check it." Deacon Huang took it with a suspicious face. Not to mention the time, he looked up and down at Etienne. It didn't seem to be a big problem. Presumably, he had only killed a few monsters, so it didn't mean much to them. But when he checked the corpse in the storage ring, he was shocked. He was shocked by the situation inside. In the storage ring, the corpses of the monsters were piled up like a mountain. The number was much more than he had imagined. He thought that Etienne had hunted a dozen monsters at most, but now there were hundreds of them. It was incredible. This number? Deacon Huang's eyes were full of shock. He looked up at Etienne, and his eyes changed a lot. "You hunted them alone?" "You can say that we hunted them together. I hunted them together with my friend. Is there a problem?" Etienne did not tell the truth. The impact of him killing so many demonic beasts alone was still very big. "Hunted with a friend? That's not too bad." Deacon Huang heaved a sigh of relief. If a person could hunt so many demon beasts by himself, then it would be a miracle. This was way too powerful. How strong must one's cultivation be in order to hunt so many demon beasts? "Can you start calculating now?" Etienne asked. Sure. Deacon Huang nodded. He couldn't help but look at Etienne a few more times. This was beyond his imagination. Soon he finished counting and gave a rough evaluation. "I've roughly calculated it. What do you need in terms of materials? I don't have any special requirements, as long as it can be used to forge a soul tool, Tianyun said after thinking for a while. What? Forge a soul tool? Deacon Huang was shocked. In Heavenly New City, the number of blacksmiths who could forge soul tools could be counted on one's fingers. The young man in front of him wanted these materials. Without a doubt, he wanted to forge a soul tool. He would either forge it himself or ask someone to forge it. One thing was for sure, there was a strong person who knew how to forge soul tools. That's right. What's the problem? Tianyun asked. There's no problem. As far as I know, the number of blacksmiths who can forge soul tools is very small. I might be rude to ask, is it this brother here or your friend who can forge it? Deacon Huang asked. Is this very important? Tianyun did not answer. This, if possible, we also hope that a master who can forge soul tools can forge soul tools for us. Everything can be discussed. Deacon Huang rubbed his hands together in embarrassment. Tianyun's eyes flashed. Although forging was good for him, it was still too slow. Unless there is no other way, he would choose the path of forging. My friend is not very convenient for the time being, so we can talk later? Tianyun refused. Deacon Huang was not embarrassed. He just nodded and said, if you can, please be sure to come and help. We will definitely give you a generous reward. Blacksmiths are extremely popular everywhere. Everyone has a few weapons, so blacksmiths are very popular. Roughly, the demon beasts you killed can be exchanged for 15 normal soul tool materials. I don't know if you are satisfied. Deacon Huang roughly reported the price. No problem. Tianyun didn't have any concept of the price. Anyway, it was easy to get, so he didn't care much about it. Ding! Successfully completed the demon beast hunting task. Reward: 500. 000 EXP. 10. 000 gold. 10. 000 crazy point. 10 lottery tickets. Star Pavilion favorability increased by 100. The task was completed easily, and he also got a lot of crazy point and 10 lottery tickets. Then please wait a moment. Deacon Huang turned his head and shouted, Little Zhu, come here for me. What's wrong, Deacon Huang? Then a figure came out of the house. Tianyun looked up and was stunned. Pavilion Lord Z? Tianyun shouted. Pavilion Lord Z? I am not the Pavilion Lord. I am not qualified to be the Pavilion Lord. The woman shook her head and laughed at herself. Tianyun looked carefully at the woman and found that she is not Ziyue, but she is very similar to Ziyue. He can't say that she is completely similar, but at least 90% similar. If he didn't look carefully, he wouldn't be able to see the difference, which makes him wonder if they are twins. Moreover, the appraisal has already presented the other party's information in front of him. Zhu Yuxuan. Cultivation Level 9 Spirit Refinement Realm. Wears high-grade Spirit Tool Purple Jade Soft Armor, Martial Art Turn Cloud Palm, Cloud Treading Steps, etc. Combat Power. 16,000 Weakness. He doesn't care about the rest. It doesn't make much sense to him. Do you have an elder sister or younger sister? Tianyun asked. My friend, please tell me in detail. At this time, Deacon Huang came out with a very serious expression. You said you have seen a woman who looks like her? Yes, I have seen her, and she looks like her. Tianyun said without thinking much. Very good, very good. Deacon Huang laughed. Then tell me, where is she? I will definitely give you more rewards. Deacon Huang's eyes flashed with surprise. There is a kind of ecstasy in his eyes. When Tianyun just wanted to say something, Zhu Yuxuan rushed over. You have seen my sister? Zhu Yuxuan looked happy, hurriedly grabbed him, and said, Where is she? She is very excited. Regardless of the fact that men and women should not touch, she directly grabbed Tianyun's shoulder. This scene made Deacon Huang dumbfounded, but she quickly reacted and said embarrassedly, I am too excited. If she looks like me, then she is my sister. I haven't seen her for a long time. Since she ran away from home, there has been no news of her. I don't know where she went. Ran away from home? Tianyun was puzzled. Yes, she has been away from home for several years. I wonder if you can tell me where my sister is? Zhu Yuxuan said excitedly. Tianyun squinted his eyes, immediately looked at Deacon Huang, and said, Can't you find any news of her sister? Deacon Huang laughed dryly. The sea of people is vast. There are also places that our star pavilion can't find, basically beyond the heavenly boundary continent. We don't go to explore. It is too much of a waste of manpower and material resources. Tianyin can see that Deacon Huang is not lying. The star pavilion is indeed very big. It is spread all over the heavenly boundary continent, but it is not particularly familiar with the situation outside, especially the earthly boundary continent. It is even more reluctant to spend a lot of effort to explore. Chapter 145. What's your sister's name? Tianyin asked. Zhu Yue. Zhu Yuxuan quickly replied. Sure enough. Tianyin immediately confirmed his guess. In order to avoid detection, she had to conceal her identity, but she didn't hide her real name. She just changed her surname. But even so, they couldn't easily detect her. The sea of people is vast. It's not that easy to detect. Unexpectedly, Zhu Yue ran away from home, relying on her own hands to make a name for herself outside. Obviously, she has outstanding performance in management. But her position is not very high. Although she can manage the treasure pavilion, due to her lack of background, she can only be regarded as a puppet. Zhu family is relatively famous in Heavenly Boundary Continent. It belongs to the management branch of Star Pavilion. Otherwise, Zhu Yuxuan would not appear here. May I know the reason why your sister ran away from home? Tianyin asked. This is our family's matter. As long as you tell us and let me find my sister, we will immediately reward you with both hands. You will definitely be satisfied. Zhu Yuxuan closed her mouth. She didn't want to reveal the situation. After all, this is a family scandal. She can't explain it in detail. In that case, I also have no comment. I am your sister's friend. She chose to run away from home. There must be something she is unwilling to face, so I will not say it. Tianyin said. Ziyue, also known as Zhu Yue. Her relationship with Tianyin is not bad. She really wants to help him. But in her heart, Tianyin regards her as his friend. Young master, it seems that you are not willing to say anything. Zhu Yuxuan's face turned cold. It changed on a whim. Some things we are not willing to say. That is our family's matter. You don't need to know too much. As long as you say it, it will only benefit my sister. There is no harm. I don't think so. Since I am your sister's friend, there are some things I have to listen to. Only then will I know whether it is worth saying. Tianyin did not choose to back down. Friend, it seems like you don't know where you are. Deacon Huang stood up and said with a serious expression, this is a big deal for the entire Star Pavilion, so you have to tell us. Otherwise, we'll have to invite you somewhere so that you can think about it. He snapped his fingers and a group of cultivators rushed up, including 3 core condensation deacons. They quickly ran down the stairs and came in front of Tianyin. Deacon Huang, what's wrong? The middle-aged man asked. He knows about Yue, but he refuses to say anything, Deacon Huang said in a low voice. You know about Yue? The man looked at Tianyin in surprise, and then said with a serious expression, Friend, as long as you tell us where Yue is, we will give you a corresponding reward. We will definitely not treat you unfairly. I said I have my own judgment. Zhu Yue is my friend. I respect her choice, but if you want to force me to say it, I can only say that it is impossible. Tianyin frowned. Their attitude made him very uncomfortable. If that's the case, then this friend, if you don't say it, don't even think about leaving. Deacon Huang raised his hand and said, Arrest him. They just formed a good cooperative relationship, but in the blink of an eye, it was broken. This reversal is too sudden. One of them immediately rushed towards Tianyin. His palm turned into an eagle claw and grabbed Tianyin. The power released from the body of a core condensation expert is like a giant eagle swooping down on Tianyin, trying to capture him like a prey. But they didn't mean to hurt him. They just wanted to catch him. Tianyin's eyes flashed. With a faster speed, he grabbed the opponent's arm and immediately slammed him on the ground. Bang! Tianyin was a little dizzy from the fall, but it's not fatal, just a little dizzy. Since the other side didn't attack too hard, then he won't attack too hard. I advise you not to mess around. I can't guarantee that next time I will be more ruthless. Eteonian looked at them indifferently and said. This time they were stunned, although their companion's cultivation was not high, but he was still at 5th or 6th level of core condensation, but he was instantly killed. This can only prove one thing. That is, Eteonian's cultivation is higher. Eteonian directly suppressed one of the deacons. If he was more ruthless, then he would be dead. In a situation where he had attacked so quickly, he had stunned them. Only those with great strength had the right to speak. They all looked at each other and saw a little shock in each other's eyes. Whether it is speed or strength, it is very amazing, far more than the deacon just now. This means that the cultivation of the young man in front of them has reached a much higher level than them. Because Eteonian is wearing the 100 transformation mask, so they can't see Eteonian's real age. If they know that Eteonian's real age is only about 17 years old, then they will be even more shocked. So, do you choose to fight, or do you want to negotiate? Eteonian looked at their shocked expression. His expression is very indifferent. Their shock is expected. This time they have to think carefully. Such a strong cultivation, so young, presumably his background is not too simple. This is what they think. In fact, Eteonian is just a member of a first-grade force. But they think that such a young man with such high cultivation, without a lot of resources, how can he be cultivated? After looking at each other, they can only choose to compromise. My friend, we're not trying to make things difficult for you. It's just that Zhu Yue is very important to us. She has caused a lot of trouble for the Star Pavilion after she left home for so many years. Deacon Huang sighed. If I am not wrong, you must have forced her to do something. That is why she chose to run away from home. I know her character. She is a very responsible person. She will never do anything wrong, Eteonian said in a low voice. Zhu Yuxuan was silent for a while, then took a step forward, not afraid of Eteonian at all. Mister, since you want to know, then I will tell you the truth. My sister ran away from the wedding. It is that simple. This matter is not very clear to the outside world, so in order to protect the Star Pavilion's reputation, we did not say it. Ran away from the wedding? Eteonian was startled. This situation is a bit of a cliché, but it is a common thing, especially when it is reflected in the children of big families. They have no choice. Their own happiness is controlled by the family. It is indeed a bit tragic. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.